and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Firmeza y gran convencimiento, lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Isaiah, that was a test. That's real. The other one was a test. That one was real. Yeah. What up, fam? Hope y'all doing good this afternoon or this evening. For you guys that are new, welcome to the channel, MESHIACHA Chronicles, known as Bible Chronicles, which is why you probably hear that this part.
Copyright disclaimer.
It says Bible Chronicles. I changed the name. Anyhow, we're in the third year now. Shit, man. Right? This is the month where I started the channel, man. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, back in 2022. But I came to this understanding roughly, officially 2018, but the roots started growing like 2016. Anyhow, what up, Kuya? Good to have you, bro. I was gonna do the live yesterday, and I told you too, and I couldn't, man. I got sick. Well, whatever this is, I guess it's sick. So I think I'm a little better. I think I'm doing better. What up, Grizz? What up, dog? What up? The louder, bro. Good to have you here, bro. What's up, brother Joe? Yeah. All will be revealed. Hope everybody's doing okay. Let me see. Block out the wobbles. He said, let's block out the wobbles. Nah, sometimes it's good to have that shit. It helps the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Lameshi? VTC, bro. Man, I keep forgetting to call you, man. My bad, bro. I will definitely call you. Anyone else I didn't call? I don't see anybody else that I missed. So, okay. The question is this. All right, here we go. I'm really excited about this class because it's, taking a break has allowed me to reflect. I don't know, like reflect. Oh my God, like, you know what I'm saying? No depression, no shit like that. No, it's, all praises to the Most High, man. That things have been much better. Thank you. You know what I mean? With prayers from you brothers, man, and you sisters too. Thank you very much. Anyhow, I took break because I had to, make some adjustments, moves, close office down, whatever, all this and that. So it gave me time, and I started going back to the basics, man. So today we're gonna go basically back to the basics. I was thinking about that. It's been a while because I was showing a lot of videos in my previous classes. Today we're gonna do a lot of reading, and the question is, wait a minute, like this right here.
Bruh. Wait a minute. Who are you?
That's the question right there. Who are we? Who are we? Lots of people claim that they know who they are. Matter of fact, lots of nations know who they are. If you guys really think about that, white folks, black folks, Arabs, Asians, all of them know their forefathers for the most part. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? You guys gotta wonder that. Now, I will say this, that what happens throughout this walk, whether you believe it or not, wisdom does grow and it takes time. Sirach 125, the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom. So you won't understand the parables that the scriptures or this book talks about if you don't have knowledge, first of all, which in order for you to even become wise in that sense, you first have to go through those processes. But godly is an abomination to sinner. The important part right now is the first sentence. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom. Now, how does one gain wisdom? If thou desirest wisdom, verse 26, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. Now, here it's a simple instruction. For the sake of time, let me continue reading it. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction. You see what I'm saying? So in order for you to get instructions, to understand what the hell is going on in our society right now, or even when you finally come to that important question, I don't know, some of us have had that question at 6 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old, 12 years old. I had it very young. My daughter specifically had it very young. The question was, why the hell are we here? That was the main question for most of my life, my childhood. Not really all the time, but it was like, why the fuck are we here? What the hell's the point? I saw a lot of shit. I saw a lot of bad shit. At 4 years old, 5 years old, I saw people get shot, like literally, like like they're covering them up with plastic. You can see through plastic, but you see the blood all over the place. Now, it's not necessarily like, oh, this is so weird from everyone else what they've gone through. No, but the fact is that it has to make sense. Eventually shit is just like bitter, bro. Like fucking life becomes bitter. Like you don't want to do this no more. Thank the Lord that he allowed me to get knowledge, to gain wisdom, to to gain knowledge, or I should say to follow instruction, gain knowledge, and then grow wisdom to see the parables. And this is all has to do with pretty much how you really feel about this. I don't know, man. Faith that what you're trying to do correct in your life is going to pay off. I mean, obviously, hello, what the hell are we sincerely doing this for? I don't want to sin. I don't want to intend to sin. I'm not trying to not sin because I want some treasures. No, it's just that it feels good to avoid what that fear is. And what the fuck what if that shit is really real? And if I do fucking bad, like I'm done. You know what I mean? I don't want that. Anyways, without wasting more time, because I can't do that. Let me go to Isaiah 33 real quick, because I did have the reason for that. My bad, family. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll get into a little conversation here. Isaiah 33:6 says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. You see what I'm saying? So when you have this understanding, or at least this type of view as to what's going on currently and in the past, or at least with the information that's being provided to us, how do we deal with it, right? And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation, because there's a lot going on right now, man. A lot of shit's going on. Some of us probably do listen to politics more than they should, but it is what it is. So check this out. That was just one thing I wanted to share with you. So let's start and begin here real quick, okay? So the question is now, how or who are we? And how do we find out who we are? Here we got ourselves a book here. I think I've showed this to you guys before. Se llama este libro El Pueblo Hebreo por Julio. Sorry, let me see if you guys can see that. Yeah, you guys can. El Pueblo Hebreo por Julia Rosa Delany. Okay. Written in 1908 from the library of Luis Alberto Sanchez, the Pennsylvania State University Libraries. Okay. So you guys can actually see the actual source. And 1908 reprint. This is a PDF, obviously. But I want to focus on some of these words here real quick. Look at this. Quechuas. Del origen de los indios. Okay. Now, I want to focus on this word right now so we can get through this material. Now, you guys are obviously, this is not a difficult book to find on PDF. I would suggest to, take care of it. Look, 44 pages. It's not long. All right. You guys can read that shit. But I'm going to get to the points here. So what is it saying about these Hebreos? Okay, so let's go back. The book is called, my bad, where are you? El Pueblo Hebreo. Okay, now, then it says here, Inserciones, Bibliografía y Crítica Histórica. El oidor Don Diego Andrés Rocha y su Tratado Único del Origen de los Indios. Okay, now, here we start seeing this word often, Quechuas. So let's dig through it. All right, let's go. Oh no, matter of fact, I missed it. It's because I was over there. So let's read at this point, and let's see what we get. All right, page 14. It's in Spanish, so you guys know this is a bilingüe channel. It says, pero si estas filiaciones son ingeniosas, no solo son menos las que corresponden a las lenguas quechua y aymara, que proceden del hebreo y del caldeo. Now, some of you guys may not know this, but Quechua is a language in the lands of Peru. So let me continue. Así resulta, al menos en muchos vocablos que tienen idénticas o análogas significaciones, pero por no fatigar al lector me limitaré a pocos ejemplos. So here he's giving some examples as to why he's making a statement. And by the way, family, forgive me, I am still a little sick. My nose is stuffy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to battle through this. So forgive me. My mind's still a little cloudy, but hey, I'm going to do my best. Let's say it. That says here, los vocables México, Perú, cacique, sinato, canoa, macana, ana y racha vienen de los hebreos masi para. You see this? So these words, México, Perú, cacique, sinato, canoa, macana, ana y racha, dice, vienen de los hebreos. Acautín, Sinail, Canón, Macha, Ana y Racha. Tupac viene de Topa o Tobi, familia de Israel. Y a los lectores que observan que uno es Tupac y el otro es Toby, contesta el autor que mudarse la O en un fue muy fácil. Now, I'm going to share this with you guys. Why is this even important? Why does it even matter? You know what I mean? It's like, when we show this material, or whatever other brother or sister shows this material, there's gonna be out there people that ain't gonna believe. Okay, fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you can't ignore so much written about the connections and similarities, and literally like the books that are out there. You can't freaking deny this shit. Come on, man. Let's stop being stupid. We're willing to embrace conspiracy theories that are far fucking out there. Like a lot of you guys believe in aliens before you believe in this shit. Mi primera tarea consistió en conocer la mejor que fue posible los elementos y el conjunto de la cultura de Tahuantinsuyo, dando preferente atención a las lenguas quechua y aymara y sus dialectos conocidos. Page 21. So check this out. Let me see if I can get to this particular part. Here it goes right here. El primer ejemplo examinado detenidamente en vista de los trabajos de los egiptólogos modernos y comparado punto por punto con el imperio incaico, resultó muy semejante a este y que los rasgos comunes existen. You see what it's saying? So Egyptologists, modern Egyptologists, comparing this particular things that they found here, this word, to be sincere, I don't know what that means. Let's look it up. Incaico? Inca, okay. Okay. So Egyptologists and people from the Incas, like, I guess I don't know. That's the word they used to give that understanding. Resultó muy semejante a este y que los rasgos comunes existen, tanto en idioma como en religión y costumbre, podían muy bien explicarse ya por un contacto directo de los quechuas, aymaras y egipcios. So the typical individual is just going to basically say, yeah, whatever, that's all BS. That's so-called whatever. Fine, so be it. But you want to know something? Since, like I said earlier, when we woke up to the question that I think all of us have had since we were kids, me personally, and my daughter, because I can only tell you that from that experience, is she was 4 years old, and she said, Dad, why are we here? What's the point? What's the point, Dad? Why are we here? Man, that's like, not even adults ask themselves those questions, which we should, for the most part. But here we're seeing that there is similarities. So let's continue. It says, durante un tiempo más o menos largo en algún punto del Asia, o ya por una relación del origen de los súbditos de Faraón con algún otro pueblo de ese continente de donde procedieron quechuas y aymaras. You see this right here? Now, before I move on from this word, quechua or aymara, I want to show this to you. I think I still have the picture. I think I still do. Hold on. Look, is that it? No, it's Ayaman. No, I think I got it wrong. Anyways, let's continue. I thought it was the same word, but it's not. Anyways, so let me move on to the next word. Okay, so now we see Quechua, Aymara. Now check this out. All right, in the same book. All right. Let me spell it out. Caldeo, way. Caldeo. Okay, so it brings us back. I thought I could find more. Caldea or Caldeo? Huh. That's weird. Okay, that's all good. So now we go through this book again. Same book. Again, I welcome you guys to download and get it PDF, El Pueblo Hebreo, por Julia Rosa Delani. Okay? So let's go through the words. It says here, page 8. La otra observación es asunto de la conciencia. Advierte el doctor Rocha que los hebreos establecidos en la América del Sur y México, o sea, nuestros indios, no están manchados con el crimen de Calvario por no haber concurrido a él. puesto que vinieron 1000 y tantos años antes del nacimiento de Salvador, meaning the Messiah, 1500 years before him. Correct. The actual expulsion of the 10 tribes was around 500 BC, 535, 38 BC. Prior to, that's when they left officially. So if you think about that, that's 500 years, not 1500 years. So, but anyways, let's conclude. That's not the point. It's that same page. See, once again, it's talking about que las lenguas Quechua y Aymara proceden del hebreo. Now, where this, before I go, Quechua language. Quechua language, sometimes written in Quichua or Quechua, is language spoken by 8 million people in South American nations, Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Argentina, and Colombia. Okay? I'm only reading material. That's all I'm doing. I'm not making shit up. I'm literally reading and showing you guys what I'm finding. Okay, and hopefully that can give you some reasoning, maybe get you to see the parables of the scriptures, and then maybe the knowledge will start to really seed and root, because once you start seeing the book for what it is and the history, it helps a lot. Check this out. It says, de suerte que el sistema que emplea el oidor Rocha para establecer parentesco entre hebreos y americanos es idéntico al que usa para probar el origen español de los indios. Check this out. Page 11. Después de hacer varios estudios, ha cruzado por mi mente la sospecha de que si acaso no será la raza indígena el pueblo hebreo que Dios se reservó para sus fines providenciales. Desde entonces el indio se ha convertido para mí en tema de paciente y minuciosa investigación. Now, I think I did write that book down, didn't I? Give me a second, family. Let's see. Is it this one? Give me a second. Hold on. Make sure that I get the right one. Oh, no. This is not it. But here's what I'm going to do. I think this is going to really help you understand where this is going to go. So anyhow, you see the actual hebreo, the similarities. This is what we're talking about. Again, el pueblo hebreo de origen asiática. So if you guys don't know that, it's a Afro-Asiatic language, Hebrew, right? We understand that. Now, check this out real quick. So once again, we have here. Let me get the book for you guys. El pueblo hebreo. Okay. Now, I want to show you something. I think I missed it. I might have missed it. Did I miss it? I was looking for it. They had mentioned this name. Give me a second, family, because I thought I put my notes properly. I wanted to show you something that I noticed from this brother. I was in a hurry. I didn't write it down that properly, maybe. Let me see the name. Okay, I think it's here. Here it goes, right here. Okay, so check this out. As I was reading this book, right? Interesting part on page 9. It says, estas versiones tuvieron defensores convencidos en el Congreso de Americanistas, reunido en México. So this right here obviously caught my attention and the brother's attention that showed this before. Now, interestingly enough, check this out. Let me see if I can get this for us. Let's see, is it right here? Yes, it's right here. So, let me open it over here. Page 280. Check this out. It references it. Check this out. Hey, check it out, fam. What I'm trying to do is this. All right, matter of fact, let me just kind of bring you guys into the board because I don't want you guys to think that I'm like misleading you. So we have a series that I want to finish, right? And it's this one right here. And as I was going through my notes, I realized that this video, which happened to come on my feed, which I did a long time ago, covers a lot of the small details that I wanted to bring out. So I thought it would make more sense to just present this to you so then we can cover the other parts that are also as important. Because as in case you don't know, I'm going to show you more books here throughout the video. And one of the books that I want to reference, one of the books that I mentioned and I don't get into is called well, it's not called Salvador, that's the writer. Vida del muy magnífico señor Don Cristóbal Colón by Salvador de Madariaga. And here, he expressly confirms and admits, just like Wiesenthal, the other so-called self-proclaimed Jew that was hunting down Nazis, they both admit that the origin of Cristobal Culo Colon is a self-proclaimed Jew, you know? So and in this book, it also mentions why they gave us encomiendas, why they presented slavery in that way, and also why does not that ever get mentioned throughout history que de estos pinches judíos esclavizaron a nuestra gente, and it was these self-proclaimed Jews that gave us encomiendas. So I thought it was important to show this particular part because I'm going to bring up a lot of books in this particular video here. And I figured, why the hell redo it when this is actually good enough so we can move on to the other section? Let's go. Okay. This is on page 280. Oh, sorry, my bad. Of the book called Root of Me, huh? Here it goes, right here. Reunión, onceava reunión del Congreso Internacional de los Americanistas. That's the first part. Congreso Internacional de Americanistas, actas de la 11ª reunión. México, 1895. Imprimado, me imagino, en 1897. Ok. So vamos a ir a página 280. Oh, my bad. Went too far. There it goes, right here, coming up. It says here. Okay, let's read it. It says, grande ha sido la variedad entre muchos y diversos escritores sobre el origen de los americanos. Y bueno, it's talking about indigenous, all right? Be mindful of that. O primeros pobladores del nuevo orbe e Indias occidentales. You know, we just basically confirmed it. Unos dijeron X, antes se usaba con J, so dijeron, como México, right? So unos, and the V is you. So unos dijeron que procedían de los cartagineses, otros de los fenicios o chenahuancos, otros de los indios o chinos, otros de los noriagos, otros de las islas atlánticas, otros de los tartarios y aún otros de los 10 tribus. No hallando yo cosa más verosímil ni consentánea en la razón que la de muestra Montesino. La supongo como a la más probable. So he's basically saying that Montesino is what he believes is the most conclusive as to where our indigenous people come from. Okay? So it says, no hallando yo cosas más verosímil ni consentánea la razón que la de nuestro Montesino. La supongo como la más probable, mostrando que los primeros pobladores de la América fueron parte de los 10 tribus y que después de la Tartaria, en que más me afirmo, les siguieron y hicieron guerra, con que de nuevo se volvieron y ocultar detrás de las cordilleras, meaning mountains, las cordilleras. Pruebo que los 10 tribus no volvieron al segundo templo. So here he's agreeing that Montesino is basically correct. Out of all the people here that want to claim that we're Africans or Canaanites or, you know, Tartarians or Mongolians or white folks, you know what I'm saying? All of that bullshit. Here he's confirming. All right. So let that voice be heard. Check this out. Got another one for you. Here we have a book called, let me go show you real quick, Noticias Americanas. Okay, you guys want to take a picture of that real quick? Noticias Americanas, entretenimiento físico histórico sobre el América. Disculpen, sobre la América meridional y la septentrional oriental. We're going to go back to English pretty soon, fam. Don't worry about it, all right? Let me just get through this. So now let's go to, if you just joined the live, so this is what we're doing. This is I'm going to try to do a 4-part series on this, okay? The first series, go check it out. I mean, not right now, stick to the live. But it's called The Hidden Secrets. The first one's part 1. This is part 2. Now, I had done pieces of this topic, throughout the years. I've been around since 2022, the beginning of 2022, okay? So I've been doing different topics, but I didn't really go to put it together. It was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and then maybe some recordings throughout that. So what I want to do now is put it all together in one series so you guys can actually see it. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, because there's a lot of information regarding who we are. And there's a purpose of why I have Egypt, Iraq, India, and Mexico. There's commonalities in the structures that we see in front of us. I don't want to ignore that. But before I get into those structures, right, because I love to get into detail, I want to show you the other detail that I've shared before. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just show you this video because I've done it and it's very informative. So stick around, please. Take some freaking notes. Do yourself a favor. Because look, there's only 6, 7 people watching. And quite frankly, I still don't understand how there could be almost 700 and something subscribers and there's only a few people watching. It always I don't understand. We're providing y'all historical information, facts, and sources. And it seems like you guys prefer to, I don't know, man. Listen to chismes, homies. Straight up, bro. Let's go. Let me see if I need to. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to go to page just real quick. Thank you, brother, for providing this info. Appreciate you very much. Page 323. Okay. Check this out. Look what it says. It says, sobre el idioma de los indios y juicio del modo en que es regular que se poblasen las Indias. Es opinión, listen to this, okay? Pay attention. Es opinión muy válida entre las personas eruditas que poseen con perfección la lengua quechua, traer esta algún origen de la hebrea. You see what it says? Es opinión muy válida, meaning it's of a high opinion between people here that the Quechua language has a perfect origin to the Hebrew language, con la cual le hallan mucha semejanza, porque aquellas palabras que en la Sagrada Escritura se conservan de este, y siendo en la pronunciación y en el sonido iguales, no dejan de ser bastantes las que se notan con esta íntima semejanza, de suerte que juzgándolo por este principio no admite duda, guardar entre sí muchas consonancia, disculpen. Resta saber si el significado que tiene en el hebreo, en la hebrea, es con precisión el mismo que en la otra, porque las palabras de la Sagrada Escritura que se hallan en el quechua son por lo común aquellas en que los intérpretes no se han hallado conformes. Wow. So here you can see how the similarity in the language, it's so similar. Check this out. It says here, desde la infancia que la hablan y entienden en toda su fuerza, por serla natural como a los mismos indios, poseían el hebreo antiguo con la misma perfección. Bro, y'all got this is heavy fire right here. That the children, right? They were basically natural. Like, okay, I'll read up a little bit here. It says here. No siendo extraño que en solo unos se parecen sin su de ser lo mismo en el significado para poder determinar sobre ello con propiedad. Será preciso que los sujetos instruidos en la quechua desde la infancia que la hablan y entienden en toda su fuerza por serles natural como a los mismos indios, poseíense el hebreo antiguo con la misma perfección y entonces podrían hacer la comparación de una con otra y por la semejanza de algunas frases, de las expresiones y de los nombres de las cosas, vendrían en conocimiento de la igualdad con que conversar entre sí, y tal vez no sería difícil darle la interpretación que si quiere a las que se mantienen en obscuridad en hebreo. Bro. Wow. That, man, that's I don't know what to say to that. You know, when I was first reading this, right? I thought to myself, I get that hold on. Yeah, you have a good point, bro. Because there's a dude. I have. Look, I'll let me tell you this, okay? And I don't like to boast. I fucking hate that because I don't take privilege in the information that I know because prior to my quote unquote recovery, I was a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Quite frankly, I don't think I deserved to know this much information. I should have died when I was 40 because I have a lot of friends or acquaintances, people that I know that live the same exact freaking life that I lived and are now dead. 42, 40, 38, 34. Those are facts. I'm not going to get into detail why, but the point being is that I lived that life. I shouldn't be here. And something happened. Something occurred. I don't know. I can't tell you what it was. It wasn't Jesus. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like some fucking image. I'll be frank. It was my pain. My pain got so heavy that I didn't want it no more. And I did not know how to get rid of this pain because pain could be everything. Resentment, anger, frustration, I don't know, man. Even can envy, you know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit. And I just couldn't handle it no more. And then eventually all these things started occurring. I was a 1.2 GPA person, family. The English is my second language, for God's sakes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't learn how to speak English until probably the seventh or eighth grade. It is when I really started to learn English. I mean, I got here third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh, but I didn't really know English. I was so behind. Eventually I started catching on, right? I wasn't stupid. It's just a simple fact.
And for me to like have access to all of this information where I used to hate reading, I thought reading literature English was fucking horrible. I never wanted to be in class. If I could ditch it, I would, because those were the fucking ways. Okay? So everything that I share with y'all, it's not because I'm trying to be boastful or because look what I know and you don't. Nah, man. I'm showing you guys because whenever I'm off YouTube and I'm not talking to my brothers that call me up, I'm either sharing it a little bit with my kids because kids, they don't really listen as much as they should. They do, but I understand. I'm very patient with my family. That's why we love each other. I understand my environment, so I know how to educate them. But us that are adults, I don't share it with anybody. I either share it here or I don't share it at all. So I really, really would love it if you guys could just understand why I share what I share. I did not know how to read. I did not even know what a fucking comma was for, or a colon, or a semicolon. I ain't lying to you. I didn't even know really what a period meant. I mean, I guess it was just a period, but if you caught me reading, it would just be run-on sentences reading. Let's put it this way, family. I did not even know how to read Spanish. And now I'm reading Spanish to you. For you that don't know Spanish. Or that maybe knows Spanish but has a hard time reading Spanish. And not only that, I'm going back and reading y'all books from 1700 that are complicated to read. Remember, keep in mind, I was a 0.092 GPA average. If you understand that, to the white standard, I'm a fucking dumbass. I am as the bottom barrel dumbass as it can get to the white standard. But to God's standards, this is what we are. So I compel you to please take notes because this stuff does matter to me. And I don't know if I'll ever quit, but sometimes I wonder if it's even worth it. Look how many people are watching, 4, 5, 6 people, and that's it. So take notes as much as you can, bro. Take advantage of whatever I do know now because eventually sometimes things just end abruptly or somehow they just don't, but eventually they will. So let's take advantage of this moment.
We read these books and you're like, well, maybe it's a lie. Maybe it's a lie. You know what I'm saying? But I've shared with you guys in this channel, and I've done some classes on our actual similarities in what we eat. That it's all over the Bible, right? So it's not just the material that we read, but it's also when you look through it and you're like, damn, dude. I mean, who else eats crickets, family? You know what I'm saying? Come on, Brian. Come on, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Who naturally wears fringes? Come on, stop it. Stop it. Polyglot glamour. A polyglot glamour of the Hebrew, Chaldaic, Syriac, Greek, Latin, English, French, Italian, Spanish, and German. We're going to go to page, I believe, 203. Just kind of skimming through this real quick. No videos today, family. Just a few. That's it. Today is reading. Reading time. You know how we used to do it. Okay. If you guys are new to this channel, go back to my old ones because then you'll know what I'm talking about. Page 203. Okay. All right. Tacos de chapulines, así dice. Yep, that's right, bro. That's for sure. That's for sure. Check this out. Page 203. It says extract from the history of American Indians by James Adair. We if you guys know, if you guys have followed this, those books are available. It says here, the Indian language and dialects appear to have the very form and genius of Hebrew. Their words and sentences are expressive, concise, emphatical, and sonorous and bold, and often both in letters and in signification, synonymous with the Hebrew language. It is a common and old remark that there is no language in which some Hebrew words are not to be found. Probably Hebrew was the first and only language till distance of time and place introduced a change, and then soon followed a mixture of others. An accidental position of the characters might also coincide with some Hebrew words in various dialects without the least intention. As the true pronunciation of the Hebrew character is lost in a considerable degree, it is too difficult a task for a skillful Hebraist to ascertain a satisfactory identity of language between the Jews and American Aborigines, much more so to an Indian trader who remember this is like a quote unquote who professes but a small acquaintance with the Hebrew and that acquired by his own application. However, I will endeavor to make up the deficiency of Hebrew by plenty of good solid Indian roots. So again, here we see some people that agree to disagree, disagree to agree. But look, when you look at the true facts, when you start seeing the comparables in regarding the Quechua language, then you really see the difference. Now, I'm going to tell you something, family. Nobody in this time, up until 1520, was really, how can I say this, was really pronouncing the name of the Most High. Up until 1540, I believe, it was actually used once more. You got to think about that. Now, why am I sharing this material to you? Why is this important? It's extremely important because I'm going to express to you now why all of this matters. Show you something real quick. The idea, or a lot of us,
Who's coming in the driveway?
several of us came out of a 12 tribe chart concept. Okay. A lot of us came from the 12 tribe chart concept. A lot of us, really believe what they were saying. So their idea, let me show you something. Their idea is this. And silly as it may, some people that should have known better, they still push this for a little bit, and some of them do. So these BHIs claim that the 10 tribes were here and that they came, I guess, not here, but here, and that they took boats after like Second Ezra says, and they went all around Africa. And that supposedly with ships, families, kids, mothers, grandmas, parents, old, young, considering women on menstrual cycles, you know what I'm saying? Women that are pregnant. What about cattle? What about gold? What about all that stuff? Okay, well, that's what they say, that, that 10 tribes went around Africa, and that's how they ended up here. That's their teachings. That's their doctrine. That's what they believe. I was the first and only one to show that we did not go that route. I was the very first one to go against that, and I'm going to show you why. Because it's not a difficult thing to understand. I'm going to show you how it's not difficult to understand if you understand history, or at least like just kind of think bigger than the USA. Because a lot of people are confused that they think America is the world. That America is the world, and nothing else matters. No, a lot of different shit matters, like other history. So I said, by the way, this is a map from 1587, okay? David Rumsey's map collection. What I did is I showed and proved that we went from here to here. And then the travel of 1 year and a half all the way down. Okay? Now, people can claim that the 10 tribes went that way, but that's easy. That's easy. You want to know why that's easy? Because you can't prove it. There's no map. There's no There's no history, no relativity between the people that were on these ships to the people here. No, they said that the 10 tribes, by the way, they were all mostly African American looking, because that's what they teach basically too. Don't forget that either. You guys really need to know the doctrine. They said that they went all around this way. You know what I mean? So I disagree, 100% disagree, because we have proof, similarities, statements, historical recorded conversations about the similarities between people. Some deny who we are, but yet put us right smack bottom in the middle of all of it. Okay. So now, why do I believe we went that way? Okay, you got to remember that in 535 BC, there was rulership in kingdoms. And I'm going to show you that the rulership in kingdom that was here, okay, there was no way that the 10 tribes would have gone that way. No way. Because some people believe that. Also, some people believe like you know what I mean? Some people believe that they did go into Africa. Some people believe that. Some people believe that they went all the way to north to Europe. Seriously. But the majority of proof and the majority of the books written about who they may be or where they may be all lead to this here, to this land here. The majority of the material books and findings all end up here, all over. So before we go any further, let me show you why. It's important to know your history. Let's listen to this real quick.
The ancient Egyptians built one of the greatest empires in history, and despite facing many difficulties, managed to maintain their sovereignty over almost the entire Nile River Valley. But Africa has always been a gigantic continent, inhabited by many different peoples. Some wanted to conquer the fertile lands of Egypt. Kingdoms and tribes with origins in Libya, Syria, and Turkey were constantly fighting against Egypt. But there were a people whose tenacity and courage frightened even the powerful Egyptians. The Nubians were an African people who lived in the Nubia region, in today's Sudan. The Nubian people had been living in that region for a long time. By 3100 BC, there would be Nubian villages along the River Nile. During much of their history, the Nubians did not develop any writing. Much of what we know about them is in the records left by the Egyptians. The Nubia was a region rich in gold veins, semi-precious stones, ebony wood, incense, and ivory. This wide range of resources encouraged the Egyptians to invade that region in search of extremely useful raw materials. The Nubians resisted the Egyptian invasions as much as possible, but they were militarily inferior and were progressively pushed south. Due to the various periods of instability in Egypt, the Nubians were able to organize more effective defenses. During periods of peace, Nubians and Egyptians traded and shared different forms of knowledge. During the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose I, the Nubians were part of the Egyptian Empire, but that dominion quickly collapsed, and the Nubians established a unified kingdom, with Napata as its capital. The Nubians thus founded the Kingdom of Kush, which would become a respected African power. The term Kushite Kingdom comes from the Egyptians, who called the Nubian Kush. The founder of this new kingdom was a tribal leader named Alara, who became king of all the Nubians. With the Kushite kingdom established, the next step was to ensure its defense and economy. For this, Alara's successors reigned successfully, strengthening the kingdom and expanding their domains.
All right, so now that we get an idea of what was going on between certain nations, okay? See, Egypt, Kingdom of Kush, Ethiopia. Now, why is this important? Because you have to understand that this relationship or so-called fight that they had was around 600 BC. Egypt in the late period, okay? you see the actual Seti period of dynasty. Now, you guys can look through these links here. Metmuseum.org. Okay, metmuseum.org right here. And you can find out that at that time there was war between Egyptians and Cushites. Around 530 so BC. Okay. 400 BC to 520 so BC is when you start seeing Persian dynasty starting to become, right? Check this out here real quick. I think around the same time, yeah, Babylon falls to Media Persia. Okay. So keep this in mind here. Let me show you something. Let's see if it's here. Is this it? No, this is not it. My bad. This is not it. Oh, here it goes right here. My bad. So here's a kingdom, Cyrus. Okay. This was the kingdom of Cyrus when he freed the Israelites, the 10 tribes, when they were allowed to move and go. Okay. You have to know that that's what was going on at that time. That was the actual land that the Israelites dwelt in. Okay. Now, in case you guys don't know, and I hope you do, but for the sake of at least touching on that subject, this is who King Cyrus was. This is from a book called Conscious Dictionary of Ancient History. Cyrus the Elder, surnamed the great king of Persia and founder of the Persian Empire. According to his own statement in the inscription on the cylinders discovered in the ruins of Babylon, he was a son of Cambyses, the son of Cyrus, the son of Typus, and the son of Echemenus, I guess. Cyrus overthrew Astyages, blah, 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 blah. Let me see what the point here is. Let's see. Hold on. Where were you trying to? Okay, here goes. Cyrus overthrew Croesus in 546 BC, making himself master to the coast of Asia Minor. Babylon fell to him in 539 BC without a blow. That's when the 10 tribes were free. He was killed in 529 BC, 10 years later, while fighting nomads. By that time, the 10 tribes had departed. So right here, when Cyrus, like, for example, took over, okay? This is where you find Second Kings. For you guys that are seriously trying to read the book and you don't know where to go or where to start or how history run, write this shit down. Not shit, the verses, but write this stuff down. It's important. 2 Kings 17:5. Look what it says here. This is right at that time when Cyrus took over. Babylonia was the one that had the Israelites in captivity. Remember that. Keep that in mind. That says, then said Cyrus, I'm sorry, it was verse, we'll go 5. Yes. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. You see this? In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Syria and placed them in the Halah and in a harbor by the river of Gazan and in the cities of Medes. Check this out. Verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord, their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. You see this? This is why they were sent out. Now check this out. Write this down. 2 Chronicles, chapter 36, 22 and 23, to help us understand more. Proclamation of Cyrus. This is what we just read. Okay? In between 539 BC and 529 BC, around 535 BC, 538 is when you start seeing the official 10 tribes of Israel starting to depart. Okay? Around that time. And why did they do that? Why were they allowed to? Because they were under captivity with Babylon. You see it, Assyria, correct? Now, it says here on 2 Chronicles 36:22. Now, in the first year of King Cyrus of Persia, 1539, that the word of the Lord spoke by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished. that the Lord stirred up the spirit of King Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom. Throughout all his kingdom. See? Right here. Throughout all his kingdom. Because that's what he owned. That's what he ran. That's what he handled. Right? He wasn't proclaiming all lands that he didn't conquer. No, that's not what he did. Then it says here that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it also in writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth had the Lord God of heaven given me, and he had charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah, who is there among you of all his people. The Lord his God be with him, and let him go up. So now he's telling them they're free to go. They're free to go. Okay. So now let me show you something real quick so you don't get lost in the sauce. Here in Ezra, which is the following book, first chapter, it's giving us a little bit more clarity. Okay. He just said it in general in Chronicles. It's generalized. Now it's a little more detailed. Ezra 1:1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, and saying, Thus saith King Cyrus of Persia, the Lord of God of heaven had given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he had charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you? You see this on the previous one, just for the sake of you understanding what we're missing here. The previous one, he didn't say that. Okay. The following one, in verse 3, is when he concludes. Who is there among you of all his people? Here, right? His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build a house of the Lord of Israel, God of Israel, and he is the God which is in Jerusalem. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourn, let the man be of his place help him with silver, and with gold, and with goods, and with beast, besides the free will offering for the house of God that is in Jerusalem. You see this here? Here, all the tribes were free now, including the 10 tribes that were carried away out of Samaria and thrown all over the cities, all across the kingdom of Persia. For the most part, the kingdom of Persia expanded more than the Assyrian kingdom, but you can get a gist of what I'm talking about. Then we see here that Judah and Benjamin rose up. Priests and Levites came with them, right? Let me read it. Then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, and with all them whose spirit God had raised up to go up to build a house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem. And all they that were about them strengthened their hands with vessels of silver, and with gold, and with goods, and with beasts, and with the precious things, besides all that was willingly offered. Now, as you can see, that it was just Judah and Benjamin and Levi, right? What are the 10 tribes? Where are the 10 tribes? That's the question. Okay, this is where you have to now conclude that the Apocrypha is important. Because here in the Apocrypha is where it gives us that answer. 2 Ezra 13:40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea king, whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away captive. That's 2 Kings chapter 17. He carried them over the waters, and so they came unto another land. Okay. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That's 2 Chronicles 36 with Ezra's chapter 1. That's that right there in between. You see what I'm saying? Timeline. That they might keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed them signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years. And the same region is called Arsareth. Now, some people want to claim Arsareth is in Africa, and I beg to differ. You want to know why? Because how convenient that in some cases they want to use Plato's information, Aristotle's information. For God's sakes, they even want to use Diodorus Siculus' information. People that are born in 16 BC, 300 BC, 400 BC, that supposedly there was some land that Carthaginians knew about. All of a sudden now, yeah, they're that they don't like. Are we ignoring this information? Because from what we understand, the Carthaginians were actually, shipping merchandise.
Only that, family. Not only that, the Carthaginians are Hamites. So if they claim to be originally here, then using resources, or like I mentioned, clearly stating Carthaginians, Phoenicians, that whole lineage of Ham, right? So then you're admitting that you guys are Hamites. Even if we took your theory by, for word, that you were originally here, well, you're using resources or sources that express the fact that it was Hamites that were supposedly doing that. So you're calling yourself a Hamite indirectly. And then when we call you a Hamite, you get offended. What do you prefer?
The Phoenicians. I mean, are we forgetting Solomon's time? Tyre, Zidon? Are we forgetting who the actual navigators were of that time? You telling me they never went around Africa? Come on now, man. No, that's not the case. Now, here's this map that I'm trying to show you. Okay. Kingdom. Now, you see all this vast land? I find it so funny, man, because everybody wants to, claim that this is a map from 1587. And in that map has this word called Arsareth. And Arsareth is there. Why do we want to ignore what is right in front of us? Let me see if I have that info. Why? Why do we want to ignore what's right in front of us? This is from a book, Relatinio. Well, it's Italian. I think it is. I think it has to be from 1599. Okay, 1599. What's that word you guys see there? Arsareth. Now I know some of you guys are probably going, I can't see that. Well, check it out. You know what's so even more interesting about that? You see that word right there? It says Chicana. Somebody explain to me. Chicana. Right? Anyways, the point is Arsareth, right? Do you guys not see it? Let me get a close up. This is from The Orbis Terranum Income, whatever. Let me see if I can get a close up here. Boom, 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 boom. There it goes. Look at that. Arsareth. Let me see a better one. I think there's a colored one, yep. Oh, my bad. Let's go back to that size. Look. Better writing. Arsareth. Deserto. And then here, you can see the word Chicana. In 1599, they knew that word. Chicana. Chicana. Look at that. Tijuas. Tijuas, güey. Río Tijuas, cabrones. fire, baby. Look at that shit, man. I can't run from that. What the hell's wrong with you? Come on, bro. Stop lying to yourselves. If it's in your face, if it smells like a duck, quacks like a duck, it probably is it, man. You know what I'm saying? Arsarith. Arsarith. Chicana. Come on, family. Are we really gonna ignore each other like that? Chicana, the word right there. Look at that shit. Chicana. For you guys that have no idea what Chicano or Chicana, that shit is historical. Historical. You know what I'm saying, dog? Shit is historical. Can't deny those facts. Cannot deny those facts. Can run, you can, try to steal the info and shit. But you cannot deny facts. Excuse me. Let me show you something real quick. Let's see if I have it in here. I think I have it in here. Yeah, it is here. Let me see description. Check this out. This is from a book called Descriptions of the Indies 1620. Okay. And it says here on page 21, but it goes by, I guess, numbered sections. It says here, so the greater part of them kept traveling slow. Hold on a second. Let me go back. Maybe I should read it. Here it goes. Let's start here. For all their sins and idolatries, the people felt no regret, nor did they abandon them, till they were driven out of their country and scattered over the whole earth. Few having stayed behind, for although the priests and the Levites of the 10 tribes, and those who were good and faithful, went over to the tribe of Judah, which was the noblest and most faithful. The rest of the 10 tribes, which were wicked and idolatrous, were scattered and spread over all the countries of the earth. Now, check this out. And so the greater part of them kept traveling slowly across the Great Tartary and the other nations. Now, what does it mean by Great Tartary? It's talking about this right here. This vast land. Right here. Okay? So now, remember that Jerusalem, aquí estamos aquí, Arabia, right there. Arabia, there's Deserta Arabia, then you got India right here, and you got Asia, you know what I'm saying? All of that. Then you got Tartary. Matter of fact, it says Tartary here too. I think it says it right there. Tartaria, if I'm not mistaken. Is that Tarsir or something like that? Anyways, before I forget, let's continue. God allowing and ordaining it to thus his own and righteous judgment in this extended journey of a year and a half, as stated by Ezra, until they arrived in Mongol. And from there they crossed the Strait of Anian. I just showed you. Now, the Straits of Anian is that barren strait section between Africa. What the hell am I talking about? Between Russia and Alaska. You see? Estrecho de Aniano. That's what it is. Estrecho de Aniano. That's what it is. Okay? The Straits of Anian. So it says here that until they arrived at Mongol, meaning here, so-called Mongol nation. It's offensive to me, but I'm using that terminology for now. Going up in that area, and then El Estrecho de Anian, which is basically the region of Arsarith, and a region of Arsarith, and went on and colonized the country of New Spain, and beginning at the northmost part of it, until with their wars and their search for the land, they had colonized all of it. Check this out. Now, why do I agree with this, and why it's a conclusive? It's a strong fucking conclusive. Why? Because Ezra says that in the close of the extended journey, they colonized and lived in a region which is called Arsarith. That very learned Arthur Genebrard, in book 1 of his chronology, states that Arsarith is the extreme point of Great Tartary and Scythia. That it is a cape of promontory which is the boundary and landmark dividing the old world from the new. Above the Straits of Anian and near which they crossed from that country to New Spain. So they could have gone by that route or by India and China. You see what I'm saying? So we didn't go around Africa, first of all. There's no way that we could have done that. You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a moment, family. We're freed 1535 BC. We're freed, ready to go in the kingdom of Persia, which is basically this right here, okay? Now, we've been in slavery. 539 BC is when King Cyrus literally took over. Then he proclamated it. We got training to fucking ship ships? No, man. And you have women, children, elderly. Like, no, man, no, it's impossible. However, we can testify that we could have gone this route. You know why? Because we have a lot of similarities with the people here. Matter of fact, a lot of the food that these people eat here to this day, we eat the same fucking food that they eat. Some differences. And if you really think about it, all the people in this region, right? All of these people, they resemble all of these people for the most part, all across. Not just one particular so-called phenotype. That's why you can't get so stuck on that. Anyways, so here we see the Trechos de Anian, right? Okay. Now, why do I agree with this? It says here, so they could have gone by that route from Jerusalem, going west to east, and by India, and then going north up to China, since they're in the region of Cathay, the people inhabiting that country, hear this, keep the Old Testament and the law of Moses, although with many superstitions besides, meaning that there is a trace of their passage. There's a trace of their passages, right? But if you say that you went around Africa in a boat, you can't trace that shit. But we can trace it with history, similarities, customs. I'm going to show you something. This is full and sufficient proof that the members of the 10 tribes, listen to this. This is a full and sufficient proof that the members of the 10 tribes passed through there and settled there, since that is clear from their observation of the law, meaning here. And from there, they could easily cross the straits or channel, which lies between China and the kingdom of Anian, as may be seen in the globes or the maps. And from the kingdom of Anian, they went and exploring and colonizing those countries in the New World, never seen before, or never before seen, or settled by human beaners. Damn it. Now, let me show you an example why even those that wanted to claim that we were just heathen, right? Excuse me. Remember, the last book was called Description of the West Indies. My bad. This is the Jesuits and the Incas. Okay? Why am I showing you this? It's regarding this particular Padre Blas Valera. Padre Blas Valera. Why is it important to see what this guy says? Let me show you why. He writes about Peruvian history, the people that spoke Quechua. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Now, it appears to have accounts of the early origin of the Native Americans, of the Peruvian dynasty before the Incas, and of the Inca rulers themselves. Throughout the remaining fragments of his work, it is material pertaining to the history of the Western Hemisphere prior to the time of the Incas. You see this? Right? It says here, although most of Valera's writings about the pre-Incas peoples have been lost, portions of his history of American migration and pre-Inca dynasty of Peru survived in his Relaciones de las Costumbres Antiguas. Write that information down. Get that book. As well as all his works of Garcilaso, Montesino, and Anello Oliva. Valera, listen, vehemently rejected, meaning he ferociously did, like, hell no, these mofos are not. Rejected the notion that the American Indians were the descendants of the lost tribes of Israel, a common theory in the 16th century. Somebody explain that shit to me. Let me see what you guys have. Too much information stating we are the real people in the book. You damn freaking right. They've tried so hard to hide it from us. Like, look where we are now, but we will rise at the end. Yep, yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. Oh, but that's not enough. Check this out. So this guy says that he rejected the notion, right? The common theory that everybody believed. Like, no, he's like, no, that's not true. Okay. Well, why did he say that? I'm gonna show you why. Show you why. The following page says, few sections that remain of Valera's work on this subject. He apparently speculated that the people of the Americas, listen, originated from the ancient Chaldeans. Who are the Chaldeans? Remember the word Hebreo? And I was looking for Caldeo. That was the word I was looking for. So he says that we're not Hebrews or Israelites or 10 tribes. He says, no, these guys are pagans because they are of Chaldean descent. Of Chaldean descent. Who once lived in the plains of Shinar in the Persian Gulf. Listen to this. The chronicler wrote that the religion of the natives, Greater Florida, and the Caribbean islands was derived from the practice of Chaldeans, who worshipped only natural features such as lakes, springs, and stars. Likewise, he claimed that the faith of the first Peruvians molded that on that of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans, just listen to this, were renowned in biblical history for founding the city of Ur, from whence came Abraham, the father of the Hebrew nation. And they were believed to have descended directly from Noah. And they became famous as learned astrologers, priests, and magicians. By linking the ancient Peruvians to Chaldeans, Valera was placing the people of the New World into the framework of the biblical history. So now, with all that being said, let's read the biblical history. The biblical history. What do you mean by that? Let's read the biblical history. I'll show you something real quick. This here is the book of Judith. Holofernes, to summarize, is asking about the children of Israel because they want to prepare for war. They want to go to war. All right. So now it's explained who these people are. I'm going to use it as a third party. All right. So now these so-called people, he says, Judith 5:6, these people are descendants of the Chaldeans. We just read that. We just read Chaldeans. And they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the lands of Chaldea, the Ur of Chaldee. For they left the way of their ancestors and worshipped the God of heaven, the God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of the gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Now, I want to say something to you. The God whom they knew, meaning that Abraham wasn't just a random choice. He was from the bloodline of Shem, not Japheth, not Ham, because Japheth and Ham want to claim that they're the Hebrews now. But let's continue. It says here, the God whom they knew. So they always knew who the Most High was. So they cast them out from the face of their gods. So here we see that here Abraham and his father and his family left the Ur of the Chaldees. Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned and to go into the land of Canaan, you see. So they left the Ur of the Chaldees, went into Mesopotamia, like Haran, that northern part, up there like Iraq, east of Syria, north of Iraq. Okay? And then from there, they were told to depart to Canaan. Now, why is this important? Well, because this is where the tribes come from. Are we forgetting who Abraham was? What is? He even is mentioned in Joshua 24 regarding why it's important to never forget who we are. Joshua 24:1. Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shem to call to the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said unto all the people, thus say the Lord God of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in the old time, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan. Now remember, keep in mind that if they were in idolatry because they were serving other gods, based on what was going on in the New Testament, so to speak, would they be more considered Samaritans? Yeah, you're damn right they would be.
Wait
You know what I'm saying? They would be, because they're not keeping the laws. They're worshiping other gods. That was the point of the Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom to split. That's why Jews, so-called Southern Kingdom, was like, nah, you guys are wicked demons. You see where we're going with this? Why it's important to know your history? Who are you? That's the question. Remember this. Never forget.
Wait a minute.
Who are you? That is important. Here we're connecting the dots. So he took Abraham on the other side, who came from an idolatrous father, an idolatrous grandfather, an idolatrous great-great-grandfather. You know, it's like 4 generations of idolatry. I'm telling you, family. That's why it's important to know this book. So here we see a description of the Indies showing that we are those people, could be, has to be, because, I mean, how else can it be explained? The similarities in customs and languages and traditions and food and all of that shit. And then another guy says, nah, they're not it, but you know what? They're Chaldeans. Okay, so which one is it? It's like the people come here to this channel and say, no, you're not the Hebrews. You're these other people. It's like, well, I just proved that I'm not. Well, it doesn't matter now. I will tell you this. It was prophesied that this would happen. Deuteronomy 33:17 says this: his glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000 of Ephraim and the 10,000 of Manasseh, Zebulun, right? You see Issachar, right? He's talking about he shall lead them out. With them shall push them to the ends of the earth. To the ends of the earth. Remember that. You know what's so funny? I'm not connecting the dots that way, but I thought it was very interesting that the scriptures have the word that says, push the people to the ends of the earth. I'm sorry. And his glory is like the firstling of the bullock. I'm sorry. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. So it says your Ephraim and Manasseh will be leading the 10 tribes to this side of town, right? Here's what I find so interesting. You know that section that says Arsareth? Right? It says Arsareth. Right? Arsareth. It also has a unicorn. That's funny, huh? As unicorns push to the ends of the earth. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorn. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. To where? To the land of Arsareth? Traveling somewhere? It even says it in Baruch. Check this out. Baruch 4:36 says this. Write this stuff down. O Jerusalem, look about thee towards the east, and behold, the joy that cometh unto thee from God. Towards the east. Towards the east. Baruch 5:5. Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand high, and look about towards the east, and behold, thy children gather from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One. From the west unto the east by the Holy One. You see what I'm saying? We didn't go around Africa, family. It went from the west to the east. Led by what? By the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of God. Because if you read 2 Ezra 13, don't forget, because that's important. It's talking about that man here. If you read verse 1 through, 23, 24, he's telling them what's going on. He sees this man among the ocean, among many people. And he's bringing these tribes back together. Are we forgetting? Are we forgetting the book now? Did it not, comprehend to the mind? So now we're seeing that there's this region where people, never mankind dwelled, and now that they're here, well, what does that mean? We know that for a long time this was called the third part, first part, second part, third part of the world, but this was never called any part until later. America is the fourth part of the earth. The so-called area, continent. In Revelations 6 and 8, it actually says it, and I'm going to confirm it with some books. Revelation 6:8. Then I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and he followed with him, And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. You see that? The fourth part. The fourth part, right? Like, oh, the fourth part could be something else. Okay, sounds good. I'll give you some material. Here you go. Confirmation. Geography rectified, a description of the world in its kingdoms, provinces, and countries. From 1693. Okay? Let's read this real quick. Let's see. Is it this one? This one? Goes America. We're going to see the word America. It goes, I believe it's here. Hold on a second. Let me see. Is this one? Give me a second, Pam. Man, I used to find it real easy. Now I can't find it anymore. Here it goes, right here. On page 5. Okay? On page 5 it says, according to the greater integrating parts thereof, the ancients divided the whole earth into 3 parts. For example, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Okay? 3 parts. To which now added a 4th. America. These are again divided into provinces. So now the 4th part is who? America. America is the 4th part. So here we see this here. Now, I'm going to show you something real quick. This is a very, very heavy duty book here. And I don't know how else can it be concluded. Because when I read this, I was very amazed. You see, a lot of times people think that we're regurgitating, camp shit, right? A lot of times they think we're regurgitating camp shit. But no, family. You see, there are people out there that have taken the time to study this stuff. And guess what? Not only do we see the Bible speaking about certain people traveling to certain areas with keeping some of their customs and eventually falling off again from that, right? Because scriptures say that they will bring the east wind. The east wind will come to the north. I don't have the scripture; it just came to mind. But for the sake of time, I want to just continue with my thought. Okay, so it talks about the east wind. Now, a lot of people here forget the importance of reading. Reading is important, and reading is significant, and it's important because this is where we're going to find our history. Okay, I'm going to go to page 161. Check this out. 162. This is in Spanish. This is from a book called, my bad, Colecciones de libros raros o curiosos que tratan de América. Tomo tercero. Okay? 161. 161. Now, we talk about Deuteronomy 28, right? A lot of you guys know about Deuteronomy 28. And Brother Job, you know what's up with Deuteronomy 28. I don't even got to go, any explanation. Guaracuya, you know about Deuteronomy 28. This stuff is heavy. And you know what? For you guys that decided to leave, all praises to the Most High. This information ain't for you. That's the beauty about all this stuff. This information ain't for you. Because if you skedaddled, man, this was a perfect time to be here. Any more proof? I don't know what else to tell you. On page 162, not only am I referencing this, not only am I saying that these curses pertain to you guys, but they're freaking saying it themselves. Check this out. No sé cómo no se advierte en el capítulo 28 del Deuteronomio, donde hecho Moisés maldiciones sobre las tribus y judíos que degenerasen de su ley, que se han verificado en estos indios. Y les dice después de otras maldiciones en el número 36. So he's saying that the same thing that Moses told the tribes of Israel is being verified with these Indians. He goes, for example, in verse 36, a ti y a tu rey y a tus padres e hijos es entregado Dios a otra gente que tú ignoras. Y más abajo. Then he says, verse 41. So he says in verse 36, he's referencing verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy kings which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which with gods wood and stone. So he's saying, yeah, you never knew them. You never knew us. Then he says, verse 41, engendraré hijos y hijas y no gozaréis de ellos, porque otros poseerán, y luego en lo número. So he's talking about verse 41. Thou shalt have olives, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. He's confirming Deuteronomy 28 for us. Verse 43, right there. It says here, the stranger that is within you shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. It says, las alienígenes que vinieron a vuestra tierra tendrán dominio sobre vosotros, siendo ellos sus superiores, superiores y vosotros inferiores. Then he brings out verse 49. Traeré Dios una gente de muy lejos, de los fines de la tierra, a semejanza de águilas voladoras, con gran ímpetu y estrepito, gente que no entendéis su lengua, y poseeréis vuestras tierras y frutos. Y después de otras maldiciones, les dijo Moisés en el número, desparramaremos Dios por todos los pueblos de la tierra, desde lo sumo y alto de ella hasta los términos. Esto es, los fines de ella, sirviendo a ídolos que ni vosotros ni vuestros padres conocieron. Y entre aquellas gentes y a quienes os has de entregar, no sabéis de tener descanso, ni sosegarán vuestros pies, y os llenará Dios de corazón trémulo y pávidos, y ojos descaecidos, y hasta vuestras almas se irán consumiendo de tristeza, de noche y de día estaréis temblando. Then he says this, no es necesario glosar este lugar, que él mismo está indicando con qué gente habla, y que los vicios de las tribus las trajeron a estas Indias, mezclándose después de algunos años y con idolatrías, aunque ya ellos lo eran por las naciones que pasaron. You see what he's saying here? He's talking about that Deuteronomy 28 literally applies to the natives here. This is the man confirming that. I don't know what else to tell you. Why do you think it was important for the migration? Now, in case you guys aren't familiar with this stuff here, the trip to Christopher Columbus is in the Bible. Okay? So here, if you read chapter 14, it's actually talking about Christopher Columbus here. Him sailing. For the sake of time, you guys can read it later. I want to get a couple hours in and then we're through. Here we see that. Now, that's why we need to realize that Christopher Columbus wasn't a fool. Matter of fact, his brother brought this out. And I took a picture of it. Simon Wiesenthal. He says, el judaísmo del descubridor es también alentado por el famoso cazador de nazis, Simon Wiesenthal. He was a Nazi persecutor. He says, quien sostiene que el viaje al Nuevo Mundo era en realidad la búsqueda que un país en el cual se habrían refugiado Los descendientes de las 10 tribus de Israel. Do you understand what that means? This guy knows what you guys didn't.
And family, that's the book that I am going to show you. Because that one actually identifies Colon as a so-called self-proclaimed Jew.
There's a book called Sails of Hope. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. And in this book here, on page 216, sorry, it says something very interesting. Check it. See if I can get it real quick. Right here. Listen to this. Page 216. To the last, Columbus believed. Hold on, let me go here. To the last, Columbus believed that the island he had reached were close to India. To what extent he hoped that Jewish people would be found there is, of course, not known. Excuse me? You understand what it says? To what extent he hoped that Jewish people would be found there is, of course, not known. Why even ask that question? This was a concern he locked away in the innermost recesses of his soul. But among his contemporaries, the belief was slow to die. And since the first voyagers and colonists, don't ever forget, carried this notion with them, it is not surprising that they regarded the natives from this angle and looked for whatever sign they might think linked the Indians with the 10 tribes of Israel. The first to branch this possibility was Bishop Las Casas, who spent much of his life long in the New World, and wrote a number of invaluable accounts of the Indians and their customs. You see this? Then it says, when the Spaniards reached the mainland of South America and conquered the kingdom of Peru, where they spoke Quechua, they were again disposed to look for evidence that the Peruvians were of Jewish origin. In 1607, Gregorio Garcia expressed the view that the first inhabitants of the Americas had been Jewish. In 1650, the same opinion was put forward by the Englishman Thomas Thorogood, Municipal Israel, a Portuguese rabbi who lived in Amsterdam, and was responsible for persuading Cromwell to readmit the Jews to England. Also shared his conviction. He had been assured by the Portuguese Marano from Villaflor, who called himself Montesino, and then assumed that the name of Aaron Levi, that in South America he had associated with the Jews that belonged to the 10 tribes of Israel. Municipal Israel issued a pamphlet in which he tried to support his contention. The essay created such a stir that it was soon published in Latin, Spanish, Dutch, English, and Hebrew. In 1823, Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormon sect, wrote a lengthy treatise propounding his own version of the idea. The theory was so interesting throughout the 19th century. In 1881, Santiago Perez Janquera reissued Smith's treaty in Spanish. Lord Kingsborough devoted the greater part of his time and fortune to publish a collection of American documents that might serve to prove the original inhabitants of the Americas had descended from Jews. The Spanish ecclesiastical Lordan came to the same conclusion. His published manuscript on the subject may be found in the Biblioteca de San Pablo in Sevilla. Scholars now begin to approach the problem from a scientific point of view, drawing upon the old accounts of the first voyagers, explorers, and missionaries. They noted that many parables and basic religious tenets, including a belief in the life after death, in religious customs, in the organization of priesthood, in the prophecies and dream interpretation, in the religious sacrifices, and in the appointments of the day of the rest, a Sabbath. Similar features could also be found in the myths of the Indians and the ancient Hebrews. The Spanish ecclesiastic Roldan undertook to prove a common origin between the Jews and the original inhabitants of America on the basis of the linguistic evidence. He had studied the language of Indian in Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, and neighboring islands, and maintained that it showed similarities to Hebrew. According to him, the islands had been given by their names by caciques, the tribal leaders of the nomads who had discovered and populated them. The names Cuba and Haiti were, Roland's mind, of Hebrew origin. Check this out. He believed that much of the basic vocabulary and the common names in use among the Indians likewise came from the Hebrew. Thus, he argued that the word Hyena, water, came from the Hebrew Ain. Jonas from Jonah. Yaki from Jacob. Uris from Unais. Saibao from Seba. Maisi from Moises or Moisi. The names of some Indian tools of the narrow trails they use kansas. The word ashi or for pepper. The word for acorn, granary, and for grain in general suggests its kinship with the Hebrew language. Sorry. So you see all of this stuff. Now check this out. The anthropological approach also used some interesting parallels. 16th century accounts of Indians' customs prove a rich source of information. The Indians had been required to practice frequent rituals, washing rivers and springs. They had been forbidden to touch the dead, to drink blood, or to eat certain specific fast days. They married their sister-in-law if these were widowed while childless. They also divorced women who remained childless. Like the Israelites, they sacrificed first fruits, made offerings to their God on high mountain under the shady trees. They had temples and a sacred object that in wartime they carried before them as the Israelites had borne the Ark of the Covenant.
Isaiah chapter 50.
Hey, chill out. This is just something that should just blow your mind. Sincerely, we just read about Valera. We read about the history of the Indies. Matter of fact, let me show you this real quick. Let me see if I can get it. Is it this one? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get it here. Is it this one? Give me a moment, family. I'm trying to beat this illness. Let's see if I wrote this down. Give me a second. Sorry. It's bad. It's bad. I think it's in here. No, where did I put it? Oh, my bad. Hold on. Hold on, family. I know I put it somewhere. Give me a second. Thought I had it over here. This one. Oh man, don't tell me I lost it. Well, let's see. I think it's here. Let's see. Christopher Columbus' participation in the Jews. There's a hope. Yep, here it goes right here.
Because I'm gonna share my.
I thought this was an interesting page. Because here, let me get my books here real quick.
Hey, listen, family. We're about to finish, and again, I'm telling you, man, and I don't give a shit if people get offended by the fact that they may be watching the recording or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I am trying to teach a class, like a session, like a process, because this migration that I'm showing you guys right now, it's not done in 1 hour or 2 or 3 or 4. It takes about, to be honest, a fucking whole series. Now, I'll tell you this right now. I got a lot of information in my head. I don't know how to write a book. And if someone's willing to write a book with me, bro, I am down to write a book with y'all. Because maybe this stuff needs to be taught. Maybe it needs to be put in the book. I mean, I said I was, but I don't know how to write a book. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. I don't know how to end it. I don't fucking, that's not, look, listen, man, I'm not one of those men that claim that I know everything. If I don't know something, I don't know that. But I'm smart enough to say, teach me and I'll figure it out. That's the kind of man I am. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't say I know everything. When I don't know some shit, I just don't know it. But I'm smart enough to fucking figure it out. That's the beauty about this life. That's the beauty about giving this power. And that's the power. Can you turn it on at any time? Can you turn it on at any time? That's the power that the Most High gives you. I know some of y'all probably do not understand what I'm saying, but you brothers that I'm talking about or that I'm talking to, you should know what I'm saying. Can you turn it on at that moment? You know what I'm saying? When there's time for peace, just like Ecclesiastes says. Here, I'll read it right now. Might as well bring some more verses out here. Either way, you guys don't even care. Not the ones that listen, but the rest of the ones that watch from afar. It's like you're scared of this channel and shit. It's like, in a way, you're trying to commit to a channel like, yeah, I like what he says, but man, it's too rough. Bro, there is no other way to figure this life out. You're going to get eaten, or you need to take advantage of not getting eaten. You know what I'm saying? Ecclesiastes 21 says, the words of the preacher. Here, I'll make it simple so you can see what I'm saying. Okay? So this is Solomon in his like kind of like repentance stage. Like he didn't listen to his advisors. You know what I'm saying? He was just a fuck. He was just basically what we call un caprichudo and shit. You know what I'm saying? Then he regrets it and says this: "It is Ecclesiastes 1 and 2. It is useless. Useless," says a philosopher. Life is useless. All useless. You spend your life working, laboring, and what do you have to show for? Generations come, generations go, but the world stays just the same. The sun still rises and it still goes down, going wearily back to where it must start all over again. Now, keep in mind that here is actually telling you that things are in a cycle, to be quite frank with you. Then it says, verse 7, every river flows into the sea, but the sea is not yet full. The water returns to where the rivers begin and starts all over again. Everything leads to weariness, a weariness too great for words. Your eyes can never see enough to be satisfied. Our ears can never hear enough. So what's this thing about overwhelming the earth? It almost seems like the earth overwhelms us. Now, what happens before will happen again. What has been done before will be done again. There's nothing new in the world. You guys have to understand exactly where we're going with this.
I thought this was an interesting page because when you look at the history of our people and you really see that the number that they did on us, excuse me, it should be extremely insulting. So now I'm giving you a history with this process or its timeline. Okay, so now that we get an idea of how we migrated this way, right, and then we're gonna kind of see a little bit about what happens when they get here. We should be almost done. I introduced you to this book here. Very interesting. It's called Apuntos Históricos y Críticos sobre la aparición de la Virgen María. All right. But the topic is not about the Virgen María. The topic is about this here. La Virgen de Guadalupe. Okay. La connotación my bad. La connotación de la Virgen de Guadalupe juzgada desde el punto de vista política. So for you guys that loved the Virgin Mary, and you're away from that, all praises to the Most High, because that is a demon. That shit is fake. It's not real. It was invented. It was all made up. Okay. However you feel about that comment, oh well. Prove me wrong, and I'll prove you wrong for sure. Now, let me go ahead and almost finish up real quick. Let me show you something real quick. I'm going to read you this part right here, I think. ¿Dónde estamos? Let me see. I think this is it. Let me show you something. ¿Dónde están los conquistadores? Let's see if it's here. Here it goes. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I thought I had it marked. I guess it didn't highlight it for me this time. Let me see. Let's see. Here it goes. There it goes right here. So, falsedad de la aparición de la Virgen de Guadalupe. Okay. Check this out. You guys can get this book. Not difficult. It's on Google Books. Okay. Here we clearly see that this is a bullshit story. Sumarraga, that damn demon, was the one that invented that history. But that's not the point. My point right now is this here. On page 51, let's explore this real quick. Let's see. Check this out. Okay. Now it says, page 51. Follow me. I'm going to read a little bit of here, and then I'm going to skip and go here. Los españoles no creyeron en lo que dijo Juan Diego respecto a la aparición, ni tampoco en la expresera Juan Bernardino, porque para ellos los indios eran seres irracionales o judíos. Okay? So it says here the Spaniards did not deal with us. We were irrational, or because we were Jews. Y se necesita que el Papa Pablo III los sacara de su error. So he's talking about the only way we would do anything for them or believe these fools is if they actually wrote a decree. Now, why is that so? To summarize, here in this section is basically, he's explaining, here in this section, Fray Pablo Baumont, Franciscano, right, de Querétaro, he's explaining why they feel that way. Basically, they say that, well, indios and judío is a similar word, because if you put indio, like here, where you at? Indio, right? INDIOS. If you put a J here and you flip over the N, it becomes judíos or indios, right? So these Spaniards said that the reason why, it says, this is why we hurt them. Y podemos azotar a los indios y exigirles todo el dinero que se pueda, porque son hermanos, because they're brethren, de los que crucificaron a Jesucristo. See that? It's literally saying that they were punishing us because we were the brothers of the Mashiach, and that we punished them. Según es la creencia que los españoles tienen de los indios. Es evidente que ellos no creyeron. Give me a moment, fam. I'll be right back. Anyhow, all right, fam. Where I live, I gotta be going pretty soon. But here we see basically, según es la creencia que los españoles tenían de los indios, es evidente que ellos no creyeron en que la Virgen María se pareciera a Juan Diego. Sumarraga apenas pudo en los años 15 días construir una ermita del Tepeyec para su imagen. So here, y temía la burla de los conquistadores. So see what I'm saying? The conquistadores didn't even believe this guy. But here we see that the conquistadores were punishing our people, our forefathers, because why? Because they believe that we're related to them, right? So now check this out. I'm gonna show you a video. That basically confirms it. Now you guys know this. In case you didn't, I'm saying in case you didn't know this, you should know this now, because this is historical. You can even Google it. in Wikipedia the stuff. It basically proved that they would hang us by 12 with one person, considering him being the Mashiach. Okay, so that's true. The Spaniards would burn us by 13, one of them being the Messiah. Look what it says here, and then we're done, fam. All right, I have to go because my son needs me.
¿Por qué no os unís a los franciscanos y salváis sus almas? Si es que las tienen. Si se entromete, restando.
A ver, los evangelistas, Mateo, Marcos, Lucas, Juan. Padre, ¿podéis ayudarme? Creo que he olvidado los nombres. César, Carlos, Manolo, Paco, Federico, Felipe.
A ver, ¿quién hará de Jesucristo?
Let's see who's gonna be the Jesucristo that gets burned. Now they here in the movie, for the sake of the movie, they burned them individually. But what they would do to us is they would burn us by 12, and then add the Mashiach as 13. Check this out. Conquistadors burn natives by 12, and then one was Jesus. Let's see. I think it's right here. Look at this here. It's right here. Check this out. I didn't even have to dig that deep. Look at this. Look at this. See the burning, right? Check this out. Let me see. Is it right here? Hold on a second, fam. I thought I had it. Let's see. Maybe hold on. Maybe it's the wrong link. My bad. Excuse me. Come on, bro. It goes right here. Let's see if it's this one. I'm going to show you this picture, and I'm going to find the actual info that says it. Here we see, if you guys can count them, that's actually 12 and 13. You see one's facing them? See that? One is actually facing them. Look, here it goes right here. Thank goodness. Thank you, Father. Check this out. You see that? It says on the bottom, they built a long gibbet, low enough for the toes to touch the ground to prevent strangling, and hanging 13 natives at the time of honor of Christ our Savior and the 12 apostles. Pay attention, family. Art history is all over the place.
¿Por qué no os unís a los franciscanos y salváis sus almas? Si es que las tienen. Si se entromete, restando.
A ver, los evangelistas, Mateo, Marcos, Lucas, Juan. Padre, ¿podéis ayudarme? Creo que he olvidado los nombres. César, Carlos, Manolo, Paco, Federico, Felipe.
A ver, ¿quién hará de Jesucristo?
You see? So anyways, my bad, man. I really gotta go. Dispensa, homies. Dispensa. Gotta go, man. I didn't realize my wife left and my son's here. He needs my help. And I hope this was edifying, man. I didn't have to go long, 2 hours. I think it was good. You know, I hope you guys really learned today. I hope you really learned something. You can really take time to take the notes down. Obviously, this is all recorded. You know what I'm saying? You guys can catch this shit later on. So it's all to the cheese, man. Other than that, thank you so much, family, for listening in, man.
All right, check it out, fam. I got something else real quick, and then that's it. We're almost done. Well, I had to say that right now because I was going to play another video. So this is the book that I am going to be reading next week. Hold on, what the hell okay, yeah, whatever. La vida o vida del muy magnífico señor Don Cristóbal Colón. El más cabrón. I think we should make a rap song out of his ass. Honestly. But anyhow, Other than that, I got this beautiful video to watch with y'all, and I saw like 30 seconds of it, and I thought, you know what, I want to share it with you. So if anybody decides to block it or whatever, you know, because it happens sometimes, YouTube is acting weirdo. I don't care. I hope you guys can appreciate it. After this, we're done. All right. Have a good night, fam. Appreciate this stuff. This is important because, you know, they always say raza, or that, like, we don't do shit around here. Que like no que valemos verg. That we ain't nobodies. Nah, hell the fuck nah, homie. Listen, I'm gonna say this right now. There's a lot of channels that I'm not part of. Like, I'm not into no gangster channels. I'm not into no like stupid ass bullshit drama, you know, queen stuff, because that's what I call it. Look, listen, you can't be a gangster channel if you're doing some fucking effeminate shit. Because gangster channels don't have the time to be gangster channels. I mean, if you guys are really gangster, you wouldn't be on YouTube. Okay, I'll say that first. And secondly, the reason nobody attacks my channel is because motherfuckers are scared. So I'll say it right now: FBA, BHI, Christmas Christians, y'all are bitches. Nobody wants to attack my channel because I got facts. Listen, we can write it. Let's go. Prove me the fuck wrong. But you can't. I got too much. And that's why you guys want to attack other channels. You don't attack my channel. You don't come to my channel and say the shit that you want to say to other gente, because you know that they may not be that informed, or what people say, educated or educated. I'm trying to be funny. No, come to my channel. Y'all want to debate FBA, BHI, FOPI? Today's December 25th. I never saw that invitation ever again. My channel's been around. And all you motherfuckers that never say my name because you don't want to give this channel clout, then that shows how much of a bitches you are. I got people that have 100,000 followers, 250,000 followers that don't ever say my name, but they know they don't want to give me the attention because I will destroy their shit. So remember that fucking face you see right there. You see this face right here? Hold on a second. This face right here. I've never been scared of y'all. I've always been willing to step up to the game and debate every single motherfucker that tries to say that I'm wrong about what I teach. And next time you try to put my people down and saying like, oh, you can't use certain words and shit. Well, fuck you motherfuckers then. Don't call us illegals either. Illegal means nigger. Nigger means illegal. Learn that fucking understanding, because it was, like you said it, the white man that created it. Unless you Negroes don't have no problem with that word, then maybe it does not relate to it. Because the way that we hear that fucking word illegal, it's a connotation to people that look like me. Just like the white man, when they use that word nigger, it was a connotation when they looked at you. Now you eloquently want to use it and then get offended when we want to push that back on you. Fuck no. Use some scriptures, man. Use some fucking facts. Don't use emotions. Don't go and, oh, well, you know, we don't need that bullshit. Y'all want to really talk game? But let's speak about it. Don't be around ignorance and then try to use knowledge. You see, I don't hang around with ignorance and then try to use knowledge. These are our people. This is who we are. This is what we've been around. We've never fucking left. Fuck you, FBA. Fuck you, BHI. And fuck you, Christmas Christians. And anybody that don't like my channel because of the shit that I say, fuck you too. And if you don't like it, guess what? There's a fucking link. Prove me the fuck wrong that I don't bring out real motherfucking knowledge. Because I'm sick of that shit. I'm fucking sick of it. I had my own gente bashing on my channel. People that had like 2,000 subscribers Yakasha or Northern Kingdom. You guys hated my shit. And I never came at you guys like that. It's like, bro, since I started this channel, I've had my own people fucking hate me. So why do you think I'm not surprised that this doesn't go further? Listen, man, if I'm a small fry, if I'm that simple-minded, I'm easily debunked then. You can simply come over here and say, fuck that Mexican. I'm going to debunk his ass. I'm gonna prove him wrong. We were originally here, or you guys in Hebrews, or you're wrong with this, or you're wrong with that. Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, then I'm here. I've called out a lot of people, bro. I even called out Marvelous. I've even called him out on some shit that he said. Until this day, he hasn't answered me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, come on, bro. There's no reason to be afraid to fucking ask questions, because the moment that you hear my question and you get offended, then that means that I may not be wrong. And then that's when it sits right. So wherever outcome comes after that, then you know what, man? History has already been made. My point is about writing history, regardless of the outcome. I'm not trying to get people hurt, nor do I want to get hurt. But you know what I'm saying? I understand the fucking clout chase. And I understand my, I guess, objective. Like I've said it before on this channel, I was a bottom barrel alcoholic. I should not be in this position to have a home, family, kids, a brain, a heart, compassion, empathy, conversations with brothers and sisters, sharing information. I should not be here. I should be fucking dead. So y'all want to have this fire? I'm not far from here. You see my face. I've shared my number. And I've called you people. And when I called you guys, you were afraid. So if you want this fucking fire, mention my name. If not, shut the fuck up and help the cause.
Chicago we know was built by hands you may not have learned about. A new exhibit in Pilsen shows how immigrant rail workers helped shape this city, and it connects then to now.
There isn't a central archive across the country where you can easily find records of Mexican-American railroad workers.
But those records do exist, and they live across families, files, and places. This exhibit brings those pieces into the same space, not to speak for them, to let them speak for themselves. The name on the door is Rieles y Raíces, Rails and Roots, a walkthrough more than a century of Mexican and Mexican-American rail labor in Chicago and the Midwest.
It was really a labor of love to be able to finally tell stories that were basically almost forgotten.
That labor started with questions close to home. Ismael Cuevas helped curate the exhibit. He grew up in Chicago in a family shaped by immigration. Years studying Mexican and Latino history taught him to look where textbooks had passed over.
Asking families to literally dig into their shoeboxes and find family photos, documents of their ancestors.
Those keepsakes became the foundation. Photos of workers, letters sent home, pay stubs from rail companies, pieces of daily life held on to for generations.
The city was formed by trains. Trains, railways is what put Chicago on the map.
And maps make that clear. Rail lines from across the country still converge here. Cesario Moreno is the museum's visual arts director. He says time moves forward as you walk through the gallery. And at the center, scale and detail hold you there.
Through the research that Ismael and Dr. Benavides did, they were able to identify boxcar settlements within the Chicago area, within the city proper.
Inside the city, not at the edge. Boxcars were not storage, they were homes.
We're in winter right now. It's, in the zeros, 10 degrees, 20 degrees. Imagine living in an unheated boxcar in the middle of the winter, and these families were still able to thrive.
Families cooked there, slept there, raised children there. All of it feet from moving steel.
There were a lot of accidents. It wasn't a clean environment, but they built churches. They got married, they had funerals, all the really important things that happen in a person's life.
This is the
that means that we were the first people to actually use containers as a home. You understand how ingenious that is? It's not you, Cracker Barrel motherfuckers. You see, this is what we're learning in this channel. Hopefully, people can grasp it, because I know you guys think that I'm too fucking harsh. Well, I don't know how else to speak. All I know is what I see and what I feel and what I'm gonna say. Maybe that's my autism in me and shit. I don't know. Whatever it is. But still, it's not a lie.
Only housing that Mexicans were able to access, whether it was this housing discrimination, whether it was just the ability to be close to work. And so it was this kind of discovery that I fell upon by looking at census data.
So this actually reflects the map, and that reflects the census, and that's all new, brand new information, which, you know, that's always great for future historians, and they have something to build on and something to go on.
Some records list railroad intersections instead of street addresses. Researchers match those points to historic maps that places these communities inside Chicago neighborhoods that still stand.
It's not our fault as an individual that we didn't learn this. Systematically, we're not being taught this, right? When we hear rhetoric of, critical race theory and, curriculums being too woke, they're targeting our people's histories, right? The people who built these cities, the people who built this country.
This exhibit gives that history weight. A spiker used on the line, a welding mask worn on the job, tools that kept commerce moving and families going. Community formed in constant motion, and the past pulls even with the present.
Similar to what's happening now with Trump's administration using Operation Midway Blitz, we had in the 1954 Operation Wetback. And this is 70 years ago that these communities in Chicago are being targeted. And we have railroad workers, we have the records that show them they had just bought homes here in Chicago, whether it was in Fuller Park, whether it was in back of the yards. They had just bought homes establishing the American dream, and they have to get sent back to Mexico, right? On the same railroads they had built decades earlier.
The exhibit holds those records together. Labor, home, belonging. Threads not interpreted, not summarized, left to speak for themselves.
We are the living, breathing seeds of our ancestors, and we're sprouting.
A lot of these individuals whose families built these tracks and maintained them are now lawyers, they're doctors, they're artists, they're people at universities.
Man, that's a beautiful picture right there. That is a beautiful picture right there, bro.
They're artists.
Look at that. Look at that picture right there. Wow.
People at universities.
Wow, that shit is nice. All right, fam. So let me try to finish it off with something at least. I was gonna say somewhat eloquent. It ain't gonna be eloquent. Hell, the fuck no, it ain't gonna be eloquent, man. Come on, bro. I just want to go into this segment real quick and just remind y'all that there is a psyops going on, and you can't deny it. Can't run away from it, because, like, look, listen, I had a conversation with my mom today, and she's 88 years old now, and I was asking her about, her family, because my dad's dead, right? He passed away in shit like 20 something years ago. So, and she was telling me, like, her mom and her grandma and her great grandma, and she was going all the way back to like 1800, early 1800. She even said that she had a Bible that was given to her dad, my grandpa, in secret. And they didn't even have numbers in that Bible. It was like scrolls. It was just a continuous letter. And I'm like, where the hell did you do with it? My older brother asked her to borrow it, and somehow he lost it. You know how much that fucking Bible would have cost right now? But, excuse me. Anyways, the point being is that, there's people here that want to take your history. And for some reason, they think that you're pendejo. Like, for real, they think you're dumb. You see,
Here is Ben Shapiro at the beginning of the...
We got a bunch of Cracker Barrels that call themselves Jews, or I don't know, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves, right? And then they're not really those people. Now, fine. Let's say that we're not either, okay? But these are the same people that push the propaganda to hate our people. These are the same people that finance slavery since 1492. So now, watch what this guy says here. Okay? Because I'm going to show this video to you.
Cavalcade.
Business colleagues. But even if it were true that other public figures were our best friends, our very best friends, that does not relieve us of our duty to speak out of principle and not to cover up evil or shy away from addressing it out of friendship. So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. Meghan Markle is a young mother. Ilhan Omar is a young mother. That doesn't matter. And when Megyn said this week, quote,
the lady laughed because Mark Carroll, I guess she's black, and so is Ilhan Omar. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get into that whole conversation shit. I just want to I want you to hear what they're saying. Pay attention to what they're saying. Okay? The hate.
And he turns, and so let's not laud Ben Shapiro as a man of honor here.
True of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. Meghan Markle is a young mother. Ilhan Omar is a young mother. That doesn't matter. And when Megyn said this week, quote, my goal and my job here is to try to understand, yes, where Candace is coming from on this, and says she sees no purpose in inserting herself, quote, into this on one side, that is a moral and logical absurdity. There is only one moral side here, Erica Kirk's side.
It's funny how they all are rushing to be on Erica Kirk's side. How can they all be on the Erica Kirk side and no one's on the other side?
Except maybe Tucker Carlson, right? And I guess Steve Bannon, who he goes after here.
Well, let's hear Shapiro say Steve Bannon.
Fourth, because we have a duty to truth, we also have a duty to provide you with evidence of the claims that we make. Emotive accusations, conspiracy theories, and just guessing questions, that's lazy and stupid and misleading. None of them are a substitute for truth. None of them are a substitute for evidence. So, when Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Remember the other day that I did the video on replacement theory? For you guys that are watching, for you guys that actually follow this channel, right? I did a class on replacement theory. And she had said that black people are being replaced by us so-called immigrants. You know, when they say immigrants, you know what they say? They see people like you and me. You know what I'm saying? They don't see black folks. They don't see Chinese or Japanese or Arabs or fucking Hindus or whatever other world you're coming from, no offense. But when they say immigrants, they see people like that good-looking face right there. They say that's an immigrant right there. I'm just being funny. But that's a fact. Replacement theory is not just a white concept. That's why you have Negros trying to claim that they're the original people of this land. Do you understand their replacement theory?
It's so pathetic.
Pause it. Listen, I know that I was hung up by my underwear
Yeah.
Honk for it.
Retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Leaning your head back in ecstasy.
Pause it. Also, I just gotta say, like, just like as a, they're
Probably wonder, like, why is this guy showing this? Like, I'm gonna show you why, dude. Come on, bro. Please stop it. I'm gonna tell you why. In this channel, I have exposed fakeness. You know what I'm saying? It's like, remember he said Candace Owens? Right? He said Candace Owens. Let me see if I can fucking find it. See, hold on a second. Let me do it over here. Candace. Oh, there it goes right there. Is this one?
Candace Owens recently launched a new podcast with the Daily Wire.
Stop it. Show the video. Matter of fact, I showed it the other day, and I was saying how she was talking about black replacement theory, as if we were going to replace them. Now, I'm going somewhere with this, family. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay? Because these are the same people. Like, look, I'll show this to you. Now they're fighting, okay? But there was a time where this person here called you an animal, said you were a savage, said you were a cannibal, and that you're a pot smoker. Like, why should we listen to you? You know what I'm saying? Now, that's why I'm showing this, because there is a connection between these two groups.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In congressional hearings, the minority party gets to select its own witnesses. And of all the people the Republicans could have selected, they picked Candace Owens. I don't know Miss Owens. I'm not going to characterize her. I'm going to let her own words do the talking. So I'm going to play for you the first 30 seconds of a statement she made about Adolf Hitler.
I agree. I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets, the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist. But if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German.
All right, so my first question is to Ms. Hershinoff. Ms. Owens said, quote, if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. So when people try to legitimize Adolf Hitler, does that feed into white nationalist ideology?
It does, Mr. Liu. I know that Ms. Owens distanced herself from those comments later, but we expressed great concern over the original comments.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Owens, I'm sorry, we just started recording. Would you like time to respond to that?
Yes, I think it's pretty apparent that Mr. Liu believes that black people are stupid and will not pursue the full clip in its entirety. He purposely presented an extracted clip.
Oh, hold on a second. You just said that black people ain't stupid and they won't look at the entirety of the information. Do you know what's so funny? That us as Hispanics, right? No, so-called Hispanics, says fuck that shit. Us as indigenous mexicas, fuck indigenous shit too. Us as mexicas, you know what we're finding out about you Negroes? That you guys don't seem to do that. No, you take a picture and boast it all about everything that you're not. So far, I don't believe you. Especially since you said we're cannibals. So then, because and I've showed videos about that, but that's not the point today.
This will suspend for a moment. It is not proper.
Yeah, he misunderstood what she was saying. So let's continue.
nationalist. He was a homicidal, psychopathic maniac that killed his own people. A nationalist would not kill their own people. That is exactly what I was referring to in the clip, and he purposely wanted to give you a cut up similar to what they do to Donald Trump.
So it's similar to what they do to Donald Trump. She supported Donald Trump the entire time. The entire time. Look, watch, listen.
When I met him, I can't explain it. He makes you feel like he's a blue collar person that's been driving garbage trucks his entire life. The way that I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Like the way he communicates with people, you do not feel that he's this elite, untouchable billionaire that comes from a wealthy family at all. And when he looks at you, he wants you to feel seen. He's very funny. That's the thing that I think gets lost is how.
Now, look, you see this propaganda? I'm going to show you an angle. Listen, I'm going somewhere because I'm not done. I'm almost done, but I'm not done, okay? So watch this, okay? I found it so fucking interesting. Hey, listen, Ice Cube, I like my fucking Cube's Crush, piece of shit, bastard. Fuck you, Ice Cube. Fuck you and all the people that fucking follow you, whoever rap to you, whoever listen to you. You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking piece of shit. And I hope you hear it from me first. And listen, you got all that kind of money, but we can box it out too, brother.
Yo, what's up? This your homie Ice.
Yeah, what's up, homie? Shut the fuck up, bro. Y'all are stupid, man. I'm so sick and tired of this fucking talk now, to be honest with you, bruh. When did we make this national? When the fuck does this become normal now? Yo, what's up now? Look, national. Now we can't just talk like normal people. Now we got to do slang shit. Back in the day, they used to call it Ebonics.
Ice Cube,
homie, you used to be my homie. Let's see what you got to say.
Here to talk to my black folks. Anybody telling you that you gotta vote, that it's your duty, that you have to exercise the right.
Man, you was hardcore hip hop. Now look at yourself, man. You don't flip flop. Has anybody else noticed he talks like a complete imbecile? Has anyone else noticed that? First off, I've been an Ice Cube fan since the late 80s, okay? I bought every album. I watched every movie. I even went to an Ice Cube concert. I've only been to 3 concerts in my life.
Ice Cube.
But someone needs to make their own No Vaseline about him now. For real, he sounds illiterate, don't he? Someone needs to spell check yourself. I remember him talking about Dre being a sellout, right? First you was down with an AK. Now I see you on a video with MESHIACHA. Well, first you was down with Chris Tucker. Now I see you in a car with Racist Tucker. I can rewrite all your shit. For real, he needs to go back and read the lyrics to his song, True to the Game, because it encapsulates him perfectly. He's also involved with Steve Bannon. I mean, this dude completely sold out. And what a surprise, talking to those white supremacists there. Now he's telling black people, don't.
Listen, I've said it before, bro. This is what they call Negro grifting. Negro grifting. That you don't even really believe in the fuck that the shit that you're putting up. You're just trying to get the money. And I get it. You're trying to get the money. But that's called grifting. And then you magnify it with your Negro grifting. Did you guys get offended? Right. Because we don't do that shit around here. And you can't call no fucking channel like that of our gente going around grifting. Well, no, hold on. American Cholo, you can have that little piece of shit.
Don't vote. This is the same shit he pulled 4 years ago. He doesn't give a shit about his followers. I mean, he's worth $200 million, so he's going to be fine no matter who wins the election, right? But he's telling black voters to not vote, to vote against their interest or not vote. Because $200 million isn't enough. He needs more. He needs more tax breaks. Wow, he really cares about his community. So, my friends, don't listen to this guy, okay? He's obviously compromised. He's going for the money. He has a lot of money. He wants more money at your expense.
Now, the reason I shared it with you, you see, this is why Raza don't like me. And you know what? I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care. No me importa, güey. See, I was born in my fucking land, in Mexico, in Guadalajara. And that's one thing they teach you there for a fact. At least I'm thankful of my father that taught me. Be true to yourself. Do never be around people that don't want to be around you. Never be around people that don't want to be around you. You know, when my dad taught me that, it just taught me that I need to be true to myself. Why am I supposed to sell myself out for other people to make them feel comfortable? That's what my dad was saying the entire time. Why do you think I bring this video out? Do you think it's because, oh, I'm Democratic and fuck Ice Cube, bitch ass, fucking old ass man that makes computer videos now and shit? Matter of fact, the last movie that he made sucked. That's how fucking whack you are. And this is why, man. Listen, I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of mad, to be honest with you. I don't typically get mad, but I'm fucking mad right now because you know what? There's a lot of channels out here. A lot of Mexican rapper channels, like Raza channels or Cholo channels, whatever. Do you guys hear this fucking dude? You see, this is why I showed that video before, because he did a recording in this video. Okay, look.
Yo, what's up? This your homie Ice Cube.
Yo, homie Ice Cube. Shut the fuck up. Fucking piece of shit. Man, I got no respect for fucking dirty bastards like that, bro. Y'all brought smallpox. Let's remind you what the fuck you're about. So in this, you see this little outfit, right? He goes off and says the same shit here. Look, little outfit.
Cube, why are you putting Native Americans in here? Why isn't this just for black people?
Well, black people are Native Americans. You know, we've had, you know, a lot of proof that, you know, some of us started here in this land. Everybody wasn't brought over from Africa. So, you know, we have to, like you say, unpack all of that and try to, you know, find the true lineage of people in this.
No. Here's the link. Show me that you guys owe those people. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? You got no Cholo channels pushing back. You got no rapper channels pushing back. How come you ain't saying shit? You guys always talk about like, hey, whack 100. Hey, I got a homie from Vista, California, bro, that would love to talk to you. I mean, I think he went to jail now and shit, but well, you know, I don't get personal with that shit because, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what we do as an older man. But anyways, some of you guys do. So what the fuck is going on here?
Cube, why are you putting Native Americans in here? Why isn't this just for black people?
Well, black people are Native Americans. You know, we've had, you know, a lot of proof that, you know, some of us started here in this land. Everybody wasn't brought over from Africa. So, you know, we have to, like you say, unpack all of that and try to, you know, find the true lineage of people in this country.
Subscribe.
You see? Negro grifting. Like this right here. Fuck you and Jay too.
And by the way, we're not black. You care about crazy. And by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian. Yeah. We're Native American. Yeah. How many of y'all grandmothers got Indian in your family? Yeah, I'm Period. I'm Indian. Wait a second, but what happened to the Indian? We black. Show me black on the planet. Why you stop recording?
He knows the fucking shit.
Why you stop crazy?
You are fucking crazy. And how come nobody fucking says nothing back? Are you guys afraid of these rappers and shit? What the fuck's going on, bro? Like, hey, listen, if you guys got big ass volume, people listening to you, how come you just don't say the truth? Here's the truth about what I see. And maybe you don't like it. But you know what? We'll find out who's a Mongo.
Please help me! Please help me!
A woman was violently attacked by two teenagers, and she then SHOT and killed them. Now, the families of these two teenagers have filed a lawsuit against her and are demanding $1 million in compensation. In a car wash in northern Florida, 36-year-old Ellie was washing a customer's car when 17-year-old Jaswin Bell and 18-year-old Quintez Mercer broke into the garage and approached her. According to the video, Bell and Mercer suddenly attacked Ellie, constantly punching and kicking her face. During this period, Bell jumped into a car beside him, started the engine, and attempted to steal it, while Mercer continued to push Ellie to the ground and beat her up to prevent her from escaping. Fearing that her life might be in danger, Ellie pulled out the gun she legally held and fired. When the emergency personnel arrived, they were pronounced dead on the spot. Fortunately, Ellie only suffered minor facial injuries. The family of the attacker filed a civil lawsuit, claiming that the woman's SHOT was excessive defense and demanding $1 million in compensation. The case is currently under legal review and has
and reading. It's just believe people because of their emotions.
Question of fact. So, Shlomo San, for example, has argued that, I think probably exaggerated, but it's simply a question of fact. If my ancestors from the Ukraine have Khazar roots, changes nothing. I'm Jewish. My grandfather was Jewish. My family happens to have a story saying that we're descended from the Baal Shem Tov. Okay, that's part of the culture. Doesn't matter what the DNA shows. We live, this is a point that Ahad Ha'am made over a century ago in his lectures on the two Moseses. He says, yes, there's a Moses of history.
Listen to what he says. The two Moseses, okay? The Moses of history, meaning the Bible, and the Moses that they invented.
Who may have existed, may not have existed. There's a Moses of culture, and that exists as a cultural phenomenon. And it's the cultural phenomenon within our cultural tradition, whoever Moses might have been, and if he even existed. Yes, that's true. We live in a world of cultural traditions.
So basically he's saying, even if Moses was real or not, we don't know. But we are those people now. That Moses story attaches to us, not you guys. Especially not people that look like you right there. Hell no. Y'all beaners, wetbacks, and spicks, you cannot ever be, not even close to the people of God. No way did he choose you. No way. Hell no. Like, you see yourselves? Look at you guys. Isn't that what they say, fam? Isn't that what Wobble say? Isn't that what Fopi types say? Black only say? Isn't that what fucking white nationalists say? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that what Christians really say? And they don't really say it.
Makes no difference what the DNA says. So, okay, if the DNA says we're not descended from the Baal Shem Tov, hence back to King David, but we're descended from somebody in the Caucasus, makes absolutely no difference to our identity. We should stop this silly game altogether. It's maybe of some scholarly historical interest, but of no significance for the modern world.
He's saying in the modern world, they don't give a flying fuck. They're the Jews. And isn't that the fact? Isn't that what society, media, and everyone else tells you? Well, they are. It is true. So, with all that said, hope you guys appreciate the edifying. I'm done. Have a good night. We're going to get to part 3 pretty soon. What is it today? Hold on. Today's Thursday. We're almost done Friday. I'm going to run a class on... I'll run part 3 on Saturday, most likely, unless something weird comes up. But part 3 will show up on Saturday. All right? Y'all have a good night.
Oye, que estamos aquí. Mírame, estamos aquí. Desde hace rato, cuando ustedes llegaron, ya estaban las huellas de nuestros zapatos. Se robaron hasta la comida de gato y todavía se están lamiendo el plato. Bien encabronados con estos ingratos. Hoy le doy duro a los tambores hasta que me acusen de maltrato. Si no entiendes el dato, pues te lo tiro en cumbia, bossa nova, tango o vallenato. A lo calaboy y bambú, bien frontú, con sangre caliente como Timbuktu. Estamos dentro del menú. Tupac se llama Tupac por Tupac Amaru del Perú. América no es solo USA, papá. Esto es desde Tierra del Fuego hasta Canadá. Hay que ser bien bruto, bien hueco. Es como decir que África es solo Marruecos. Estos canallas se les olvidó que el calendario que usan se lo inventaron los mayas con la Valdivia precolombina. Desde hace tiempo, este continente camina, pero ni con toda la marina pueden sacar de la vitrina la peste campesina. Esto va para el capataz de la empresa. El machete no es solo para cortar caña, también es para cortar cabeza.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Los paramilitares, las guerrillas, los hijos del conflicto, las pandillas, las listas negras, los falsos positivos, los periodistas asesinados, los desaparecidos, los narcogobiernos, todos los que robaron, los que se manifiestan y los que se olvidaron, las persecuciones, los golpes de estado, el país en quiebra, los exiliados, el peso devaluado, el tráfico de droga, los carteles, las invasiones, los emigrantes sin papeles, 5 presidentes en 11 días, disparo a quemarropa por parte de la policía, más de 100 años de tortura, la nova trova cantando en plena dictadura. Somos la sangre que sopla la presión atmosférica. Gambino, mi hermano, esto sí es América.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Que toques el cielo, pero no el suelo, sí que créetelo. Quítate el velo velozmente, bro. Vívete tu sueño, pero despierta a la hora que toca. Esa hora, motherfucker, wake up.
Yo me meo en tu cubata antes. Bebo matar ratas con tan. Vaya al bosque a lo Tarzán mientras enlazan. Fraternidad en casa con su polo colisteras trenas. Se han dejado en el desván de su pensar un mar de ideas. Con grandes ideas ardiendo en chimeneas antiguas. Ríe Dios al ver que te santiguas. Su mente y su luz son ambiguas como mi voz. Lo que para ti es un don, para mí una misión fija. Mis versos son de ninja, tu poesía pa' fijas. Que no te fijan, que hay más allá del cristal. La matriz hipnotiza, mi energía os hace trizas. Yo en mi nave nodriza, comiendo pizza con piña, moldea, nuestro deber es tener las raquíticas, bazookas espaciales latadas con la función del sol central, causando desinformaciones bíblicas. Todo lo existente es relativo, o al menos la materia que te describo. Soy antipersonas como las minas y mino. La moral del que venga a negar lo que digo con la mira puesta en su ombligo. Si me retiro del partido que sea como Figo, conocidos denme la pela en verdad. Si en mi barrio me conocen más que tú a tu enamorada. No hay payasos, solo en anémonas de gárgola. Andrómeda eres. Conserva tus células primigenias o no podrás volar. El virus se llevó a unos cuantos, pero elevó a más. Elevó el más a la opulencia. Digo, ciencia de vaso y Satanás en el espejo. Jesucristo, la conciencia del flash. La tierra y su paz están vibrando. Los sentimientos son la trampa que están manejando. Los hilos de los cuales tú y tu ego estáis medio colgando. No es que yo sea un superdotado, ni tú un tonto. Solo lo que tú sabes de mierda yo sobre el cosmos. Que lo estudio y profundamente sano me lo tomo. Si no ya hubiera ido a visitar al doctor, porque no soy devoto, mucho menos un santo. Yo jamás pudo, pero dale que asalto cuando en verdad sé que tendría que sudarme todo la polla. Pero pienso que hay que vivir por algo, que en el letargo cure lo enfermo. Sabor amargo, remedio eterno. Me pregunto a toda esa gente que le he hecho y canalizo desde el cielo un verbo así. Original reggae music from the world. This is King Reyes. You nigga, real rocker. Oh no, bitch. My brother Mike, I wanna get the sound. Respect. You tell you say 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, respect. Bomba cloud. Chili say. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready for the warriors and warriors. Tell them magic words where the people legend. Sing it for it till it's on again. My girl, again. Ready for the warriors and warriors. Tell them magic words where the people legend. Buffalo, 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 my girl. Son la curva de tu cuerpo, las que me pierden por dentro y no me dejan imaginar. Voy vagando en el desierto con esta pena por dentro y solo queda poder volar. Vivo como quiero, mi flaca, no quiero tu veneno. Me salva tu beso caramelo, que es lo que me van a matar. Vivo como quiero, mi flaca, no quiero tu veneno. Me salva tu beso caramelo, que es lo que me van a matar. Ready for the warriors and warriors. Tell them magic words where the people legend. Sing it for it till it's on again. My girl, again. Ready for the warriors and warriors. Tell them magic words where the people legend. Buffalo, 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 my girl. Ahora dime que no tengo mensaje. Un homenaje al flow es lo que le traje. Sonido salvaje, tanto personaje que no sabe quedar. Así levanto tu persona como gangster en la zona, que lo bueno no abandona sin llorar. El sentimiento me presiona sin dudar, la vida buena como tal. Muy bien, me siento pero igual, tanto que te canto como el sheriff del Far West. Oh, my girl, solo. Oh, my girl, solo. Oh, reggae music, dance of it all. Ready for the party.
amo como es mi mamá. Te doy ese amor que me nace y te sana, que te nace y me sana. Inshallah, que todo ese amor crezca como rama. Soy esa raíz que llego a tu cara, que llego y te cala. Soy esa semilla que llegó al futuro, bro. Vuelo por el patio que recuerda que soy yo aquí y ahora. Aquí y ahora, no están. Soy esa semilla que llegó al futuro, bro. Vuelo por el patio que recuerdan que soy yo aquí y ahora. Aquí y ahora.
Ready for the ballers and warriors, tell them magic words, ready people legend. Sing it for it till it's on again. My girl, again. Ready for the ballers and warriors, tell them magic words, ready people legend. Buffalo, 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 my girl.
Viven muriendo de la envidia como los niños en Siria de la bomba que le manda el Pentágono. Y todo el día, mamá mía, keeping it mood, that's so real. Love man, I never fear, never, no. La travesía de la vida más que misericordiosa y nuestra prosa siempre vaya a favor, no. Tú podrás por mierda traicionar a tu familia, matar tu brazo, sangre si vos sabías, pero yo no. Familia, familia, es el que está a la mínimo. Familia, familia, comparte almas cristalinas. Familia, familia, Rasta Giant familia. Familia, familia, Magna Boy son familia, ya no maniga.
خواتي شو من حالي وشو من حالي هني بالك ربي كبير وربي عالي واللي جاي يديني اليوم وباغي سالي ربي يغفر لي ولا دراري خواتي شو من حالي وشو من حالي هني بالك ربي كبير وربي عالي واللي جاي يديني اليوم وباغي سالي ربي يغفر لي ولا دراري. Tuve un sueño donde no había amor, se perdía el color de una flor, se marchaba lentamente con el sol en el horizonte. Pude hacer algo para calmar mi dolor, y es por eso que le pongo flow, viviendo alto siempre. Burruco bimba, y es que todo por la familia. Burruco bimba, y es por eso eso vengo a bendecir. Burruco bimba, y es que todo por la familia. Burruco bimba, y es por eso vengo a bendecir.
Familia, familia, es el que está a la mínimo. Familia, familia, comparte almas cristalinas. Familia, familia, Rastafarian familia. Familia, familia, Magna Boy, su familia, ya no maniga.
Magna super escalón, subiendo a nuevo escalón. Metallic in the salon, esquivo like Chile Stallone. Esos pies van del palo, pero bitch no rascan balón. Aunque me enrollo nada, cáñamo, nunca me paro. Aunque van tras de mí, no se pueden medir. Buscan el elixir, está metalizado. Y es que yo soy así, no van a descubrir sexy flow y skill con este descaro. Si familia necesita de ti, fíjalo. Burruco Connection, Antarctic Field, dígalo. A mí nadie area de París, día yo. Los magnates han llegado, están aquí, píalo. Para soportar el dolor como no imaginas, es la vida en ámbar. Aunque creas que no puedes tú solo con la movida, yo llevaré tus bambas. Familia, familia, fighting the hate and the media. Familia, familia, it's original, man. Familia, familia, fighting the hate and the media. Familia, familia, yo soy un rocket, ellos abrilia. Con los míos siempre se lo baila. Menea, melena, remueve la vaina. Aunque agarre fuerte el pito pa' que no se caiga. Son los magna de boss final. Con los míos siempre se lo baila. Menea, melena, remueve la vaina. Aunque agarre fuerte el pito pa' que no se caiga. Son los magna de boss final.
Repara millas y mirar, y si miras sin asimilar que es la puta herida de tu vida hurgo. Los manates la chatarrilla hacen pa' pillar, piltrafillas, tres no nos pilla y se va con la furgo. Te hará falta una pedicura y una cura, si se apura, quizás llega la locura de mi turbo. Dale vueltas a la partícula, deja ya la mandíbula quieta que sola llega Luxemburgo.
Niño, prepara la compota que la pera pata.
Pero vinimos a mejorarla.
Pa' hablar por mi familia y tengo autoridad.
Saben que no puedo cagarla.
Y poner ritmo y los manos dentro de cuatro patas. ¿Quieres esa vaina? Va a probarla. Todo aquel en el party tan desacata. What the fuck, what the girl, what an alma. Vive muriéndote la envidia como los niños en Siria de la bomba que le manda el Pentágono. Y todo el día, mamá mía, keeping it mood, that's so real. Lo es man, never fear, never, no. La travesía de la vida más que misericordiosa y nuestra prosa siempre para allá fabono. Tú podrás por mí traicionar a tu familia, matar tu brazo sangre si aún sabías, pero yo no. Familia, familia, es el que está a la mínimo. Familia, familia, comparte almas cristalinas. Familia, familia, Rastafarian familia. Familia, familia, Magna Boy, son familia, ya no maniga.
Bombo cry, sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it, cross the line on them. Warrior, vengo con los míos, Magna Gate, while I fire them. Bombo cry, sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it, cross the line on them. Warrior, vengo con los manas y saqué, while I fire them. A girl stop, shut up on the microphone ballad, and let's smoke the marijuana, psycho Buddha bombo clap. Bang bang in the street, fire burn if you low it. Rasta man, I want Illuminati play the kill. Stop, shut up on the microphone ballad, and let's smoke the marijuana, psycho Buddha bombo clap. Bang bang in the street, fire burn if you low it. Key Cray is a king, Magna sting. Nobody, no kill them. In a crazy style. Chale, no fire them. It's a Rasta ganja. Nobody, no kill them. It's a crispy style. Tally, the fire cream. It's a Rasta ganja.
Familia, Rasta chai is familia.
Key Cray is familia. Pure nego is familia.
Familia, Zico, Key Magneto, familia.
Familia, es el que está a la mínima. Familia, comparte almas cristalinas. Familia,
Rastafarian familia. Magna Boy, que te aplasta, nego. Quiero pensar, pero no puedo, no. El ruido en la ciudad está consumiendo, wow. Quieren pensar sin ni siquiera estar al mando. Tanta publicidad subliminal te está matando. Les cuesta decidir por sí mismos cuál es su mando. Publican sonrisas con el corazón llorando. Quieren brillar, pero sin tener que valerse de tener sus ideas propias. Los veo a todos igual, solo son la réplica de la imitación de una triste copia. Obedece, la vida es un suspiro y envejeces. Te dejas distraer por estupideces y pierdes el eje. Te duele por dentro, entonces te creces, pero aceptas mucho menos de lo que mereces. ¿Y quién te ha dicho a ti que no puedes pensar sobre lo que le di, sobre cómo actuar? Lucha por ser feliz sin a nadie dañar y solo así podrás brillar. ¿Y quién te ha dicho a ti que no puedes pensar sobre lo que le di, sobre cómo actuar? Lucha por ser feliz sin a nadie dañar y solo así podrás brillar. Conserva tu juicio y tu intuición, más activos que el que lucha por lo suyo y no se rinde. Yo ya sé bien cuál es mi misión, y es contarte que el mal por su propio pie pronto se extingue. No caigas bajo su control, pues por la televisión es normal que mal lo pinte. Tú mantente firme en conexión con la fuente de creación, vivirás siempre de fin de. Dios abre los ojos, dime lo que ves. A tus propios hijos matándose por billetes. Niños mueren cada 2 por 3. Pa' unos es bendición, con otros por su causa pequen. Y yo que intento ser un ser crístico, voy bendiciendo hasta los diablos. Piensan que es cierto el mensaje típico. Dicen que invento lo del engaño, y mientras lucho contra mis errores, demonios escucho, me ofrecen soluciones. Pero sé que hay un ángel que quiere que mejore. Me dice haz un trabajo interno antes de que lo ignores, antes que otra vez llores y se llenen los mares de pena y de dolores, ya que en mi mente no caben. La paz no va en un sobre, somos algo importante. Nunca te revelaste y por eso no lo sabes. ¿Y quién te ha dicho a ti que no puedes pensar sobre lo que le di, sobre cómo actuar? Lucha por ser feliz sin a nadie dañar y solo así podrás brillar. ¿Y quién te ha dicho a ti que no puedes pensar sobre lo que le di, sobre cómo actuar? Lucha por ser feliz sin a nadie dañar y solo así podrás brillar. Me desperté tan cansado, me sentía mal herido de todo lo que he pasado. No me quita lo aprendido, por dentro me he perdonado, pero casi no me olvido. Me desperté tan cansado, me sentía mal herido de todo lo que he pasado. No me quita lo aprendido, por dentro me he perdonado, pero casi no me olvido, no. Todos repiten lo que dice el referente. Discursos vacíos lejos de ser coherentes. De lo que no sabes será mejor que no inventes. Que investigues y no te dejes lavar la mente. ¿Y quién te ha dicho a ti que no puedes pensar sobre lo que le di, sobre cómo actuar? Lucha por ser feliz sin a nadie dañar y solo así podrás brillar. ¿Y quién te ha dicho a ti que no puedes pensar sobre lo que le di, sobre cómo actuar? Lucha por ser feliz sin a nadie dañar y solo así podrás brillar. Quiero pensar, pero no puedo, no. El ruido en la ciudad está consumiendo, wow.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de la sombra. Deja que nuestro dolor sea fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros, amamos esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.